May contain profane language. Content is inappropriate for minors. Video is not for kids.
Welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb Show. Lord of mercy. How's it going?
Help. I need somebody to help me. Anybody. Help? It's the Dr. Greenthumb Show. What's up? Live right here on Twitch, Discord, BREALTV, the new site. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. And right here on YouTube. Know what I'm saying? Yes, check out the home site because it is popping. It's new. It's fresh. It's all that shit. Damn. Started off already. But I'll pay for that because, you know, I stand by it. BREAL.TV. Go check it out. We're running it on here. We're going to be having exclusive content popping off there. And our prescription boxes are going up tonight. So we'll tell you about those later. But to my right, the legendary hitman, Julio G.
I made it back, everybody. I've been gone for some weeks, but I am back in the house now. I made it today, so I'm here, man.
Yup.
Yes.
And back on the show once again, our bro, Armin in the building.
Happy to be back.
Big Money just walked in, man.
That's right.
Big Money.
Made it
Armin
just in
right here.
time, baby.
And there is a smoke box in the future. I could see it happening. Up in the treehouse crew, Bolton, Blombo, Bra Bra, and the Dominator.
Just up here bicking it, B. Shout to Boolio.
Wait a minute. I got a little complaint.
Oh.
Talk to me.
I was in the green room the other day with Bolton, right? We were having a conversation, just chilling, talking. He tells me he's from Long Beach.
Yeah.
I'm like, Long Beach?
Yeah.
Tell me more, sir.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you hang out with the Cypress.
You're from Long Beach? Wait a minute. Last time I checked, Long Beach didn't have no blood.
He's the one blood in
It's
Long Beach.
the one blood in Long Beach.
One blood. One blood.
Bolton going against the grain in the LB, huh? The only one going out there. Huh?
He's one blooding, son.
Oh my God, that's hilarious, man. The one blood in Long Beach, I know his name Bolton.
That's going to be his rap name. You know what I'm saying? We just get Armin to, write him some bars. He'll be one blood.
One blood
One
Bolton,
blood.
man. You know what I mean?
I got you.
That's right.
Joining them in the treehouse, Trace Nuns.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't. There he goes. Hey,
Let me give that again. Yes, sir.
looking crispy in that Dodger blue.
Hey,
Yes.
Blue.
Okay.
I know it hurts. I know it hurts, Mr. Frisco Giant.
Okay, that was a good one.
Look at Snacks.
Look at Snacks. He's bleeding hard. If he joins Bolton in Long Beach, it'll be two blood.
There you go.
But there's only room for one. Sorry, Snacks. At the table, the strong one.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday.
Steph Tone in the building. Yeah. Young Tanko's DJ Kent Tankerous. And the big bad perro loco himself, Sand Dog in the building. How you doing?
Orderly. Everything's good. Everything's good. Good to see you guys again this week.
It's almost like your brocha has taken over everything. Look at the screen. It's like where the brocha begins and ends, we don't know.
Oh,
That's right.
Word up. Salute. Armin, you got some new tracks coming out, a new album, right?
Yeah, man. Album dropping this Friday. It's exciting. This
You
the
stay
one.
working, Armin. You stay working, man.
He does.
Come
doesn't
on,
he?
man. Yeah,
This
I
is
was
a worker
here only,
right here,
I
bro.
was here only a few months ago.
Yeah.
We dropped a mixtape with Just Incredible, but really it was all working up to this project right here.
Mm-hmm.
I've been talking about it for a while. It's the project produced by Scott Storch.
Yes.
A lot of big names on it. You know what I mean? The record with Nas is out. You know, we dropped a few
Salute.
singles. So yeah, we got one with YG out, Offset. A lot of big names on this, but it's not only the names, really. Honestly, this is the one. I feel like I made a masterpiece.
I mean, I want to ask you this, and I know you did, because as Julio G stated, you put the work in, and we've watched you put this work in throughout the years.
Yeah.
And all culminating into this album with Scott, who is one of the baddest producers,
Incredible,
in in the world in terms of music, right?
Facts.
And on top of that, you got your favorite rapper's favorite rapper in Nas. Like, how did it feel to be like blowing some bars up with my man right there?
Crazy, bro. You know, like we talked about it on the Smoke Box a little bit, which we just dropped, which was fire. That was definitely an experience. But yeah, man, Nas always been my favorite rapper. So, you know, years ago, I did this tribute, like a mixtape joint. It was a tribute to my two biggest, what I call my two biggest influences, which was Nas and M. So I did this song called Letter to the King. First verse, I'm talking to Nas. Second verse, I'm talking to M. It was just some mixtape shit. You know, we put it out. It got a lot of love. A lot of the bigger blogs posted it and said how incredible it was.
Yeah.
But, you know, I didn't expect much more from it, except maybe to reach some of their fans. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, years later, after I put that out in like 2016, 2017, and then years later, I get a FaceTime, and it was fucking Nas. You know what I'm saying? Like, out of nowhere, I pick up, I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, I just heard that song, bro. I'm like, what song? You know, in that moment, I didn't even think about it,
yeah.
Because again, it was like years prior. He's like, the one you did for me and M. I'm like, oh man, I'm so happy you finally heard it. He's like, nah, that shit did something to me right now. And he's pointing at his chest, you know what I'm saying? And then I had just started working with Scott. So, you know, we chopped it up a little bit. And 3 days later, he came to the studio and we did the whole shit on the spot together. And you know how Scott works. You work with him a lot. So Scott does everything on the spot.
On the spot, yeah.
It's not like I had a beat ready.
No
or anything.
folders.
No folders. So it's like we got there, we made the beat, and then Nas came an hour or two after. You know, I was in there with Scott. We had the beat ready. But once we had the beat, I was really confident. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when you're cooking up on the spot, you never know. Like, it can go, you know. You can come up with some mediocre. Like, you don't know.
True
you know
that.
what I mean? It happens to everybody. So you're just creating on the spot. But I feel like I always say it's the happiest, like, moment in my career, because not only was I in the studio with Nas, which was like my dream, but like the song came out so incredible.
Yeah.
It came out exactly the way
You envisioned
like
it.
what I would want to do if I had the opportunity to work with Nas. You know what I'm saying?
Armin, did you do the vocals in front of him?
Yeah, well, kind of. So we started writing, and first, you know, I spit a few
That's
of the
intimidating.
bars.
I think that's intimidating. It would be intimidating for
Yeah,
me.
I didn't actually record. Well, let me give you the whole story. So I started writing because when he walked in, we had the beat. He's like, you got a concept yet? You know, after we vibe for a little bit. I'm like, not really. I don't have like a full concept yet, but I just started writing down some bars. So I started spitting it for him. He's like, cool, I know what to do. And then while we in the studio, the concept kind of hit me. You know what I'm saying? The song's called Candle of the Devil. So I went up to him. First of all, before I said something, and he had been writing, he's like, yo, let me spit for you what I got so far. Let me know what you think. Like, Nas is telling me that, you know what I'm saying? That just showed, like, his humbleness and also, like, him,
And his
acknowledging
respect
me.
for you, too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Him acknowledging me as, like, you know what I mean? So he spit, like, maybe, like, the 8 bars that he had at the time. I'm like, well, yeah, it's fucking incredible. You know what I'm saying? What you want me to say? And then I'm like, yo, I think I got a hook. So I start spinning the hook to him, and it goes like, whoo. Blow out the candle of the devil. They try to reach my soul. I feel it in the cold. And then by the second time, he starts saying it with me already. He's like, whoo, blow out. He's like, yeah, that's it. He's like, we should say some of those parts together.
Yeah.
I'm like, hell yeah, that was his idea. So then we finish our writing. He goes in the booth, lays his verse. And then he's like, yo, Armin, come in the booth. Let's do this hook together. So next thing you know, I'm in the booth with Nas and we laying this hook together. You know what I'm saying?
dope.
So that shit was crazy. And then when that was done, you know, he was basically done. So he's like, I'm out. So he didn't stay while I recorded my verse. You know
okay.
what I'm saying?
Well, that's cool.
Let me
I
ask
have my, you know, I was comfortable laying my verse. And then we send it.
Would you have been a little nervous had he stood there?
I mean, honestly, yes. You know, it'll be in the back of your mind that, you know, you got to come with it. But the whole time I was already like, yo, I got to come with it.
Yeah, I don't envision you nervous in that point.
So I feel like,
and he
you
made
know,
you comfortable, so you didn't feel like a weird way about it, right?
Exactly. The whole vibe was very like comfortable, very just we creating. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it'll add some pressure, but, you know, he chose to leave once.
You know what I like about Nas as a rapper that he makes him a little different than other people that and you probably watch this as he's doing his vocals. He doesn't do doubles.
He doesn't do.
He does
no
a one.
doubles,
His
no
thing is
ad-lib.
a one rap. You hear like that's why he's captivating to me because he makes you listen to him.
Is that traditional through all his albums?
I think maybe he's doubled here and there, something in a hook. But if you really listen to his raps,
his
pretty
raps.
much his verses is just him one take.
There's
Like
only
one
a
rap, one bar. I mean, one vocal.
There's only a handful of rappers that don't do doubles.
Yeah, no. That's what
on
I'm
that
saying.
song, he didn't do no doubles.
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
doesn't
do
really
no
do that.
ad libs. On the King's Disease and stuff, I heard some ad libs. You know what I mean? Maybe that was Hit Boy's influence. Or whatever. But yeah, no doubles. He just did his. He talked in the outro. He shouted me out. Like he really showed love.
That's dope, man.
And the fact that we was on the hook together just made it more of a real collaboration. Like I didn't just get a sent-in verse.
Yeah, it was
know what I'm saying?
organic for real.
Yeah.
that's
But
dope.
then since then, he been really like embracing me and like, you know, the after the session when I saw him, he's like, yo, I think we really got one, bro. We got to do more records. The idea you came up with is so crazy. Like he's just.
Well, you
fucking
know,
with me.
real recognize real, like they say. You know what I mean? He's
Hell yeah.
he's one of them guys that people looked at like, oh man, this dude is a lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
Like not only a stylist, but he's a lyricist. And I think, you know, people recognize that in you, and I think he recognized that in you, and that's why it kind of sparked him.
Yeah, and
little
he wasn't too cocky or afraid to tell me that. You know what I mean?
I think he's in music mode right now because he just came off 3 incredible albums that I think
Bro.
people have slept on
Yeah,
because
4.
of his age. Or 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Hit Boy have done like a crazy,
Incredible.
incredible. I mean, for his age and what he's done, it's just like he's in music mode right now. I could tell just listening to the lyrics of the songs. I'm like, oh wow,
You know, our genre is ageist.
I know.
And it's not necessarily fair, but it is what it is. As you get older, the companies, the radio stations, everybody starts focusing on younger artists.
Yep.
No matter how dope this album may be the greatest album of all time, but
Yep.
it ain't gonna be looked at that because they're not pushing it in the way that they could or should. Because it's always all right. Well, you know, you've had your run.
Yeah,
next.
for sure.
Right. It's the next. It's
but
definitely always like, what's next? What's next? It's also, I feel like his hip hop is just not old. You know what I mean? Like
It's
it's
never,
turning
yeah.
50 now. So this is
Yeah.
kind of the first time you're getting older rappers that's still doing it.
I would love to
active,
see. I would
you know
love
what
to
I mean?
see. I would love to see all the '90s big rappers that were in groups all drop on 1 year. Like,
That
okay,
would be-
next year we all dropping an album. All of us from the '90s are gonna just we're just gonna flood.
in theory, that would be
That
great.
was so dope.
But half these guys don't got deals anymore to do
Even
that.
if it was on independent, just to drop it and say, hey,
Yeah,
Lords
but
of-
you
I
know
like
how
to
you
hear
gotta-
Lords of the Underground album.
But Julio,
Nas
you-
Effects.
You know how you got to push
my
some
man
of these
No,
guys,
it's true.
though.
It's true. I think people would get behind it. I think people
I think they would
it'd
get
be a
behind
great
it.
movement.
I think
there's some
it's-
great rappers out there, man.
I think it's a great idea, but
Nineties is still killing it.
But I'm saying, you know how irresponsible some of these cats were, like not showing up to gigs,
true.
And I
not
feel,
showing
I
up.
feel like maybe a lot of them haven't evolved, you know, to the newer times.
That
like
too.
You said, they don't have deals, but nowadays you don't need a deal, but you got to know how to move though. And I don't know if
Yeah.
everyone does, you know?
Yeah,
a lot of them do.
That part, and even like, okay, so like when you're independent, right, and you're doing all this stuff independent of any big label, whatever, you're doing it yourself. You have to have a level of commitment on your end to push through and do all the things, right?
That's right.
Some of the cats in from our era, they ain't trying to do it.
Right.
That's
It's
true.
Like they feel like it should be done for them. It's like, why do I got to do all this? And it's
Right.
like, come on, man, this is music. You got to keep it moving.
It's a lot of work.
Well, it's for the
And it's
serious
a lot
people.
of work.
It's for the people that wanted to do that. Like, I mean, you know, but I mean, like I said, I like to see that because I think the '90s rappers are just still incredible. Now I think Redman's still dope. I think Meth. I just heard with Lloyd Banks the other day on the record.
Hell
He
yeah,
was
Lloyd Banks
killing
dropped
it,
a
too.
fire album.
Fire, yeah, for sure.
If they were, you know, all the ones that are still functioning, like that are doing like concerts like the Rock the Bell series and all those, yeah. If you put all them together,
it'll work.
It'll
Be great.
work.
Yeah,
Easy.
Some great lyricists out there still, man.
It's like working out, though, really. You know what I mean? If you haven't worked out in a long time and you start up, you're all tired and it ain't going to be that good yet. But you keep going and going and it gets better and it gets better, right?
Yeah, you get back into
It's
it. Right?
it's the same thing with music. Like every time I've made a record, I feel like the best ideas I ever had for that record came after the record was out.
Right.
Like
It's always at the end.
yeah, I'm like, and I know that's just hindsight, you know what I mean? But it's like, I always wish there was like, as soon as the record was done, like, all right, we'll wait a week or two, but let's go back in and just hit one more session real quick for some extra, you know, so you can get those ones that where the ideas come later, you know?
And that is an old school, like theory in terms of when you're making albums, like in terms of music, right? Like you're hitting your stride right at the end. So when you think you got your album done, you should probably do 2 or 3 more songs because those are going to be the most popular ones.
You just give it a little second and then
come
come
out
right
with the
back.
fire at the end.
Yeah.
Not only that, I personally like to, because a lot of people record this shit and drop it like the next week, or like I like to sit on it for a little bit, ride around with it to see if I'm still as excited about those songs as I was when I left the studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because over time you start realizing, maybe this wasn't as crazy as I thought, or nah, this really is. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel.
That's how you find out if it has the test of time or not.
Yeah, exactly. Because you excited when you create all the time. You might be, you know, you smoke some shit, you in the zone, and you think it's fire, but you know, is it really?
And then
and you can nitpick a little bit if you need to go back and change a little thing.
It was in the moment, you know. It was getting
like,
you through
maybe
that
that second verse can be better. I go back and you know what I mean. Like that's how I do it. But
I mean, I want to ask you about working with Scott Storch. He's like an incredible keyboard player. Like I love just to watch him. I wish he would just go on YouTube and just play. Like just
man, I don't
he's
know.
just so
I don't know
dope.
why he doesn't, because he.
I would like to just hear him play for an hour, just freestyling. You know what I mean? Because he's just so dope. I just like the way he plays. But I want to ask you about his producing.
The game is to be sold, not told.
That's true.
I think that's his theory. Like, I'm not going to show you my tricks. You got to come work with me and pay for that.
But he's just a really good player. You
He's
know what
dope.
I mean? And
He's
really
one of the
incredible.
dopest.
He's incredible.
But I want to ask you about the way he produces, because you know, because he's a good player doesn't mean he's a great producer. Like as a producer is what I mean. How does he produce? Like I was just curious. Like how does he work with you? And does he produce you, basically?
So he's not really in the room when you laying vocals. But he does come back after you laid vocals and kind of gives it.
It's like a Rick Rubin thing.
You know what I'm saying?
So
but really the way it starts is like, okay, what kind of record we want to do? What's the vibe? And he's really good at capturing, you know, the style of what the artist would shine on. You know what I'm saying? Like the feeling of it, knowing, you know, my style of rap or whatever and what direction I want to go with the song. So he always starts with the melody, and he always has a co-producer who focuses on the drums.
The program,
but he still oversees it all, though. He be telling him, no, it needs to go like this. You know what I mean? Like he mouths it, but the other guy programs it. And then once the beat is kind of done, he kind of just leaves the room. Like lets the artist do what they got to do with the engineer. Sometimes I would take it home and come back the next session. Sometimes do it on the spot. And then, or sometimes he might have an idea. Like, yo, you should come in with this cadence, you know what I mean? He's done that a couple times, you know what I mean? Like, how about, you know, I remember I have this song with Quavo, which is like, we have a big video for it. It's all dropping this Friday with the album. And Quavo came in, just floated on that shit. It was really impressive. In like 15, 20 minutes, he just handed me like a hit record. Like, you know what I mean? Wow. Like, we did the beat. It was definitely my vision of what kind of beat to do. But when Quavo came, he hadn't even heard it or nothing. He put the headphones on. First time he's hearing the beat, and he just went. And before I had laid anything, you know? And then once he did a hook, you know, I told him, I'm like, Quay, you need to, you know, take the lead on this. I feel like you can make a smash out of this. And he did. And then, you know, a Scott walked in and he's like, yo, I feel like you should start your verse with, you know, go with the melody that Quavo did. You know what I mean? Like he kind of sparked that in me, and then I laid my verse and boom, it was done. So, you know, he gives feedback like that. He gives a lot of feedback once the whole song is done, like what he really thinks, like, yo, this is a smash, because he's so used to making hits.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
What I'm saying? That's always what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So, and a couple times he's like, man, do you want to do that boom bap hip hop shit again? Because I'm like a hip hop guy, you know what I mean? Because he just wants to make hits, but he's able to do everything.
Yeah, that's the
at
thing.
the highest level.
Yeah, he's versatile. Like, you know, he'll like you were saying earlier, when I worked with him, it was like, so what's the vibe? What do we feel like right now? And it was okay if it's let's just say it's the strip club vibe. He'll play some shit. Oh, damn it, that's two. He'll play something that's along that line that you could see a chick coming out and like doing her thing.
Yep.
And catch that vibe. and he'll play all the pieces, and he'll have the
Exactly.
programmer, program the drums the way he hears it and all that stuff. He's very light-handed in terms of like, if the MC already has the direction,
Yep.
he's gonna just let you do it,
Let
and he'll
you do-
come in with
do you.
minor suggestions if he hears anything.
Yeah.
But he's very much the vibe. Like he's vibing off you the way you're vibing off.
And he
him,
be playing and he be looking at you
to see if
to
you
see
can,
your
if-
reaction to
if
the
it
melody.
connects.
Like it is very impressive to watch him play. Like I haven't been in the studio with, let's say, a Dr. Dre or a Pharrell, like all the GOAT producers. He's the only one, but it's by far the most impressive things I've ever seen.
I've seen him get on
Every
the,
time again, like I've done over 20 records with him
Yeah.
now. Every time again, he's like just playing, and he's critical of himself. Sometimes he's like not editing it. Let's start over. He's not just giving you something just to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going in. And once he finds it, and then he keeps looking at the people in the room, like who reacts to what. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's reading the room without saying anything.
Everything I got from him on my Let Me Tell You Something album was from scratch.
Yep.
Like the day I showed up to the studio was another vibe.
Every
we'd,
time.
we'd smoke out. He'd take his hot dabs. He loved his hot
Gotta
dabs,
do dabs.
boy. Hit that nail with that torch, boy, and
Every
he didn't
time,
even give
bro.
it but 10 seconds to cool off. And he'd be loaded, like,
Yeah, he is a super
elevated,
smoker.
and let's go catch the vibe. And I'll tell you what, man, his smoke prowess, man, people don't know. My man Scotty
No,
can
yeah.
smoke, boy.
Come on, man. Ain't nobody doing hot dabs who can't.
I know.
Oh, my man
he-
can smoke, dude.
He one of the heaviest smokers, and I've been around y'all that I've ever been around,
Yes.
for sure.
I-
I've been
I-
on tour with Burner. Like I've been around everyone, but
Like,
he's up there.
I could say I cannot out dab Scotty.
Listen, the hot dab
That's
is
Dr. Greenthumb.
the hot dab is equivalent to that high you got when you freaked out because you thought you got too high. That's
True
what
that.
a hot dab is.
True that. That exactly
And
what
some. I think and some on
And
top
some.
of that, I think, because it's a pretty tough.
I'm just saying, though,
Yeah,
it's
there.
base level,
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
there for sure.
The feeling that you're trying to achieve
For
from a
sure.
hot dab is that feeling where you like thought you went too far as a regular, somebody who's a regular smoker.
When you do hot dabs on purpose, it's because you want to get high fast. You don't care about the taste. You just want that impact immediate, and that's what that hot dab does.
But it's past it being immediate impact. It's high powered impact too.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I'm saying, you those are the sacrifices you make. If you want to get high that fast,
What is
what
that?
you're hitting is impactful.
Oh yeah.
It's dabs, like concentrates.
But why are they? Is there a difference between dabs and hot dabs? Like,
Okay, so if you do hot dabs, it gets you high fast, but the taste is horrible, and you are high for a while. Now, if you do a low temp dab, it's more pleasant. You taste the actual concentrates, you taste the terpenes of it, and it goes down smoother, and the high comes up on you slightly slower, like it's progressive. You know what I mean? But a hot dab is boom,
Oh, yeah.
boom.
I don't like hot dabs.
I don't like hot dabs neither. I don't like taste.
Because I like to taste the weed, and I don't want that. I don't want a super boom. I just want to like you said. I want to go into it, and it's just cool because I don't have to roll a joint. I can just do like one dab, two dab hits, and I'm just straight. It gets me high for a while.
Scotty's not
Scotty-
this way.
Scotty takes that hot dab, and then he takes one of these.
And then you
in
smoke a
his
joint,
hand
yeah.
While he
Oh, that's
plays.
to soothe the throat afterwards.
Yeah, I think the flavor is from the joints.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he'll
yeah,
take
yeah.
the flavor from the joints. Like he sacrificed the flavor in the dabs just to be that high. To
Yeah.
keep high, he's smoking the joints and getting the flavor from the joints. He's got his technique, I gotta say.
Yeah.
for sure.
Armin, how do you put your music out? How's your process? Like, are you with a label? Are you your own label? How are you doing?
No,
it?
yeah, I'm fully independent, but with a distribution company called Foundation. And they're not as big as Empire. They're more like hands-on, but they're very involved, you know what I mean, with the pitching, the Spotify playlisting, and, all the digital stuff. They help.
Because it's a
they
different
help in
game
that
today.
sense.
It's not the old game no more. It's just a different game today. You're
Yeah.
approaching it. This is like you came from a different era where it was a little bit different. Now it's
Yeah.
it's
I
a
came
digital
right in the
space.
middle, bro.
Yeah,
because
it's a digital space.
When I first started, we were still slanging CDs and had them in the moms and pop stores, and also it was iTunes and the downloads on that Piff and all that. You know what I mean? So then it turned into streaming, which I had to definitely figure it out. But now it's all about consistency. You can't just drop and move. You know what I mean? Like, even this album, I've been talking about it for a minute, but I've dropped 4 records already starting from February because I felt like that's the only way to gain the momentum And unfortunately, they have to have the algorithms work for you. You know,
yeah.
Spotify, everything is algorithms.
Yeah,
Right.
it is,
You
it
know what I'm
is.
saying? So if you just drop 13 songs, 15 songs at one time, people gonna talk about it that week, and then
it's done.
that's pretty much done.
for sure,
You
for
got to
sure.
keep feeding it. Especially, you know, I was blessed to have all these features. So when you have these features, you want to roll them out as singles because you tap into their algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
for
So
sure.
I dropped the joint with. Well, first I dropped the solo joint, which was a flip from a System of a Down song called "Lonely Day." Shout out to them because they gave me the rights to like use it. You know what I'm saying? Then I dropped the joint with YG like the month after. Then I dropped the joint with Offset, and then we just dropped the song with Nas. And then now the album's coming Friday. You know,
Wow, nice setup.
which I have, yeah. And I'm dropping a video with Quavo, and the rest is just pretty much me. Method Man's on the album too. Yeah, I got some
You got some heaters.
beautiful.
In your time, who's giving you the best game? Or I mean, who's been like a really good person to you that gave you like some game that really helped you out? Like, who, you know what I mean? Like, who gave you some game? You know what I mean? Because certain rappers will pull you to the side and be like, "Hey, homie, you know, you should do this way." Or
That's a good question, bro. Honestly, I get most of my game just from like watching podcasts, studying. Like, you know, I be consuming hip hop content all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I really
So
get
you
my
study
game
the
like
game.
that. I can't really say like one person. Like, yeah, every time we talk with B, I get gems out of him. Every time I talk, you know, I've been surrounded by a lot of legends. You know what I mean? Even Scott, but you know, everyone is kind of. They know what they know, you know what I'm saying? But the game has changed so much that like the way you put out music, a lot of people are still figuring it out, and especially the OGs, they might not really know how that works
No,
that
for sure.
well. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, it's a whole different process, man, and a lot of cats from the time in the 90s that put out records in the early 2000s, they didn't really adapt to this digital age the way some have. And it's a whole new learning process because it's constantly evolving into something more
Yeah.
and different.
it's really a content era and consistency, like I said.
Yeah.
So yeah, we dropping this project and we're gonna, you know, drop more content around it, but I'm already working on the next one because I know I can't wait a year or 6 months.
Yeah, the days of waiting
Because I'm
2,
gonna
3
waste-
years is
I'm-
done.
Yeah, I'm gonna waste this album by doing that. You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Even though I feel like this is so incredibly strong, I feel like you guys as my OGs, because you guys been believing in me since day one. When you hear this album, I feel like you're gonna be proud into like what I seasoned into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was always a spitter. I always had joints, but now you'll hear like I feel like I the potential that I knew I had. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I gotta keep building off that now. So
Yeah.
like summer, June, July, whatever, I already have things lined up. You know what I mean?
That's why I say you stay working, man. You're smart because you're staying.
It's the only way, really.
the only way, you know, and
You either give up or you gotta do it all the way.
on
you
your
know?
own. You're not on your own and make your names. And you've been around the world making your name. That's for sure, man. So
man.
I can't wait to hear that album, man. It's coming this Friday, huh?
This Friday,
All right.
Thursday, 9 o'clock if you're on the West Coast.
Boom.
You know what I mean? And then next Thursday, May 4th, I'm having my album release show at the Roxy. Of course, everybody here invited. Be an honor
Nice.
to have y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah,
You're gonna hit that road with this album, huh?
I have to.
Got to.
Yeah, that's the plan for sure.
I'll say the one thing about like the features with the singles, you gotta like do that a certain way because like when you go on the road, half those artists ain't with you, or if any of them are.
Yeah. Yeah, you just do the hook and the verse. Like
Do the hook of the verse.
to be honest with
That's
you,
right.
nowadays,
Quick edit.
you really don't want to do the full song unless they really your fans and they really know you. But when I'm, you know, gaining fans with every performance
Yeah, it's
I
quick,
do,
quick spit.
I can't bore them with one song for 3 minutes. Unfortunately, that's too long nowadays.
You're absolutely right.
I gotta hit them with that hook, that one verse, you kill it, another hook, and go to the next one, or some crowd interaction.
That's real shit. Like
Yeah.
your biggest songs, like that are like
Right.
you know, if you got heaters that are like successful, whatever, those ones you could play in full. Everything else
Definitely.
should be like spurts, quick.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Just make it.
It's
a
crazy
show,
you
make
say
it
that,
show
Armin,
up.
because that's kind of the approach that I take when I put like shows together for people. Depending, like when I was working with Cypress, like the beginning was pretty much boom, 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 boom. It was like to the point,
Right.
because it's this thing of like if you have an hour and you're able to put more songs in that hour by chopping things down and breaking things into each other, it gives the audience an experience that like the next person, when they just play a song and then they stop and then they play the next song,
Right.
then they stop, then it's like, oh man, this is whack.
Yeah, not for
Right,
sure.
so
You gotta
it's kind of
make
like
it flow
it's kind
into
of that's
each
the
other.
whole concept of doing shows like that, and the concept what you're saying. You go in there, you play a verse and a half, boom, 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 going to your next.
As
boom,
long
boom,
as the transitions
Right,
are right, the
right.
crowd keep
You're
on the
winning.
go, you know what I mean?
You're
Oh,
winning,
shit,
bro.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
keep it moving.
Well-
and like you said, once you have certain songs that either they're more familiar with
Yeah.
or it just makes more sense to do it in full.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a big song, you sort of have to do it in full. But like, you could play so many songs on a quick set like that
Yeah.
when you medley them up, verse, chorus, verse, chorus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you do it in an interesting way, people don't even trip off of it. They're just like, "Yo, that was dope."
It's entertaining, yeah. Sometimes you'll
Gotta keep
get
it entertaining.
you'll get fans be like, "Damn, that guy was rocking out." Now I know what I mean. You know what I mean? That's what it's about doing shows. You know?
We never do that, but that makes me want to do it.
It
Like-
makes you want to do
like
it.
I'm like, what, like 6, 7, 8 song medley real quick? You know
Yeah.
what I mean, just hit them off with your favorite parts.
For you guys would have to play songs that are in the same key
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
because it would be hard to do that if you had to change guitars and bass during that time. But it would be dope if you did put a quick set like that together. No one that
That's going to happen.
like you don't necessarily hear that with bands doing it. You could hear it during hip hop. It's harder
I never
with
thought
bands.
about that with bands.
But
I'm sure there's a way.
But there could
a
be
way.
because
Oh, yeah.
every band has a number of songs in the same key, different melodies,
right.
but same key. If you got enough of those where the guitar and bass don't have to change, like they don't have to switch for tunings and stuff like that, you could
Right.
totally do it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
a matter of arrangement at that point.
Yep.
Make some dope ass transitions. This shit gonna be fire.
Oh
Yep.
man, that would be sick. A lot of older bands I noticed do that. Like bands from like way the fuck back. I can't remember the names of it, but you see them now and then on PBS when they do those old school shows, public broadcasting system.
yeah.
They like sometimes cover old school concerts like the doo-wop stuff and
I've seen a few.
things like that and the Fleetwood Macs and this, that, and the other. And every now and then they'll have an old school band come up there and they'll do like a medley like that where they'll play a piece of this song and then boom, pop into another song. But it's all in the transition.
Yeah,
You're talking about like from the big band era, from like
Big band era stuff
For like
and
the
and
40s.
like in the 70s and
Yeah.
60s
Mm-hmm.
in doo-wop.
oh,
Not necessarily 40s because 40s was big band. Doo-wop is like in the 50s and stuff like
it's
that.
a little bit later on.
A little bit later on, yeah.
Word up.
But like it's crazy because you can do it. It's just that bands these days they don't do that shit. They're like, oh, we're gonna play no medley.
Yeah.
We're gonna play all our songs.
Somebody got to come up with the ideas.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
It's crazy though, like because
That would be dope,
I noticed that certain artists don't want to conform to certain things like that. Like they'll be like, well, you only got so much time. Well, I'm playing my full song. I'm not gonna play like
Yeah.
portions of my shit. And then
I mean, at the end of the day, one thing might work for
Right.
certain art.
It's all
art,
subjectable.
it's all, you know what I mean.
it's subjectable for
But
sure.
what I've noticed for hip hop, especially when
Yeah.
you still up and coming, like you don't want to keep it too long because it gets
Yeah,
boring.
nah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
Unless
snap it
something
quick.
about it is very impressive that keeps you entertained.
For hip hop, it's got to be a quick snap.
Yeah.
Like depending on the crowd, right? If it's an older hip hop crowd, they might want to hear more of the song than
Yeah.
just the verse and the chorus, because they know some cool shit happens
Later on.
Later on.
Yeah.
But like like younger fans, yeah, it's the quick pop.
Mm-hmm.
Bands can't really do that though, because it's like those fans expect to hear the whole song.
I think they would be down for it. Like I think, like
depends on the medley how
like
you do it.
I'm sitting here and you guys are talking and I'm like, just ideas are just flowing. I'm like, damn man, we should be doing all kinds of these things, right? And I'm thinking, the one thing if you're gonna do the melody, you already said it. It's got to be where the tunings are the same through the whole event. No matter what the songs are drawn from, you got to be able to do it on the same instrument, or at least. That's when what you say is really important. You have that dope ass transition. So if you gotta make that that change of something, somebody's doing something to transition.
Exactly.
There's something clever. Some other part happening to get you to that place.
Right.
Exactly.
But
you know what it is though. You have to do a show like that when you're not on an album cycle.
Can't end your show like that.
Right. But it can't be on an album cycle neither, because like what happens on an album cycle is you're out there and you're doing a show that's specific to the album you're pushing out. You're gonna do all the other songs, but like you tend to lean heavy on the new songs that you just put out. And not everybody does that, but like a lot of bands, they have to do that.
Perfect time and place for these ideas is you got a big catalog and you got a 30-minute set. You got a little bit, you got a tiny set time. You can't play all your hits.
You can't play all your hits, yeah.
And you won't, and if you just played them all the way through, you wouldn't have played enough. You know what I mean? Like 30 minutes wouldn't have been enough.
Yeah, you have to sort. If you have a vast catalog and they gave you 45 minutes, you sort of have to medley out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, they don't do that. That's why I was telling you. There was a show that we did with Cypress in Chicago one day, and because Cypress show was 45 minutes, I think we did it at that time, or 50 minutes, whatever. And you know, we condensing everything into these. So you're getting 50 minutes, but you're actually experiencing 18 songs.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
So the next person that comes on, as soon as that band started, I don't want to name them all, but they started and they did that. They played and then they stopped.
Yeah.
And they went to the next song, and it's like in an hour they're only going to cover 9 songs.
Yeah, it's pumping
So
brakes.
the experience is going to be different for the person watching it, because they're going to be like,
stop.
"Damn, Cypress, they killed it." But in the back of their head, they don't realize it's because you experience so much music in such little amount of time. You got a lot of emotions going at this amount of time with all these songs, you know. So that's why medleys work. When especially these guys, they have such a great catalog. It was pretty easy for me to just like, okay, it's kind of like DJing, just like, oh, 2 verses this, we'll drop into this beat, and then you know we make these little things into 7-minute blocks, and you know that was kind of the concept.
Yeah, man, it's a quick step.
Yeah, fun. You gotta have the catalog though. These guys got the catalog.
Gotta have catalog.
Yeah, for sure.
Long story short, come to the Roxy, May
Come to the
4th.
Roxy.
Fuck with your boy. We selling it out.
Hell yeah.
Good
What's up
time.
with you though, Sin Dog? That's first time I ran into Sin Dog in a minute. I ran into him right here. I was like, oh man, Senercito.
He's doing Tuesdays with us now.
Oh, good man.
Yeah. Come
It's
down
good to
and
see
hang
you,
out.
man. It's good to see you,
Yeah,
bro.
you too, man.
I was talking about you in an interview yesterday.
What,
I was saying it was a top podcast I was doing, and we were talking about our old days, and I was telling them, yeah, you know, Sin Dog's always been our OG. Like he's always been older than all of us that came up together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I said, you know, I was telling him, I still look at him that way, like to this day, like this is like our OG. I told B-Roll the other day when I took a ride with him, I was like, man, you know, I was feeling for Sam when he was going through his situation, because I thought, damn, that's my boy. You know what I mean? Like we go so like.
Yeah.
You were always older than us, you know what I mean? And you always guided us in the right direction when you were young too, you know what I mean? So that's why we say Sin Dog's our OG.
Man, this guy led me into gang banging. What are you talking about? Julio? What kind of positive influence are you talking about? Sorry, I hate to interrupt you.
Was
but
it really your fault though, Sin Dog?
Well, I didn't mean for it to be. You know, I thought
there's an admission right there. I didn't mean for it to be.
I mean, you make your own decisions once you get over there. Every soldier for himself.
No, you're right though, Julio. He was always our team.
You guys always kept me younger than my homeboy base era was. So when all these, you know, and I'm not talking shit, but a lot of these guys were getting jobs and settling down and getting married and all this stuff, and no disrespect to that, but you know, you guys were hip hop and breakdancing and fucking and doing all kind of cool stuff. So I was hanging with y'all and having a good time, and good things came from it. So I think I was in the right place at the right moment. You know.
You know what's crazy, Sin Dog, is like it's not like a lot of people came out of Southgate, California, and did so much in hip hop. Like that's a crazy thing that it was just us, this little group of people from this one block. You know.
Yeah, it was
small
us,
little block.
Yeah,
us and Dave Lombardo.
That was on that block, right?
Yeah, that was on
he
that
lived
block.
on that same block. That's what I'm saying.
Southgate's right next to Downey, right?
Yeah.
That's James Hetfield. From
That's James Hetfield.
Metallica.
That's right. Before they went to the Bay.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's a lot of people don't know that. Before they went to the Bay, my boy right there was from Downey.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We brought a lot of hip hop to Southgate.
I was probably living in Downey while they were out there before they went to the Bay.
So Julio goes, I mean, this is how far Julio and I and we and the crew go back. One of our first paid shows that we ever did in hip hop was I had a job at a J.C. Penney's. I was security there, and everybody there knew that I was in the hip hop crew. So they asked us if we would go to another J.C. Penney's and perform some breakdancing for them for some loot. You know what I mean?
They wanted us to.
I
They wanted
remember
us to
that.
wear. They wanted us to
Inside
wear
the
those.
JC
They wanted us to wear the suits, the outfits, because it was like this promotion for those sweatsuits.
Yeah, right. So the theme was beat it. You know, whatever you got to do to beat it, get the sale and beat it. So we go in there and they put on Michael Jackson's song and we pop out of nowhere and we start breakdancing for all the employees and shit. And it was dope though, because we got money that day. We went to the beach.
Got
you know,
high.
we got
We bought
40.
weed.
We got
high.
weed and
Yeah.
shit. And that was one of our first experiences, you know, as a hip hop crew. But I remember that Julio always had this thing about the music. It's always the music. You're always driven by the music.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
To this day, you still are.
For sure.
And it
I
shows
love-
in your work and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I was
you know?
telling that story yesterday, sitting in that podcast, and it was crazy you say that because I remember coming from the beach that day, and that was the day that I told you guys in the car that was my last thing I was gonna do, breakdancing, because I was quitting.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, "What? You're gonna quit?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm done. I want to get into DJing." I told you guys, and you guys were like, "Man, we want to get into rapping." And I remember saying, "Yeah, all right, we'll do your thing," and like we'll, I guess we'll meet up later thing. But I wanted to ask you that, Sen, what got you guys? I never knew what made you guys say, "Oh, we want to get into rapping." When I left, I mean, it was like 10th grade, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You-
interesting.
What-
I've never asked you that
Yeah,
either.
why,
What got you?
and what was the?
I'm piggybacking
wanna
off
rap.
of Julio.
Okay.
What got
I'm not
you?
even gonna lie to you, okay? I think I was in 11th grade. I was 17.
Yeah, please don't lie.
And I went to those ditching parties were big back in those days. I went to a ditching party, and I saw a dude from Compton named Porky. I don't know if you remember him.
I think so.
He used to pop lock and shit.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, he didn't want to pop lock that day. Everybody wanted to see that, but he wanted to rap.
Oh.
And that's the first time I saw somebody rap in front of my face, and I was like, "Oh shit, anybody could do that." So that same weekend, I saw Run DMC on Soul Train, and they had their leather and shit and everything,
Yeah.
their whole getup going.
Yeah.
And it kind of took me back, and I said to myself, I want to do that or something like that. From there, it started in high school.
Yeah, for sure.
The fascination
Hey.
with hip hop and trying to, one day be in a band or something.
Hey, you want to know what rapper blew my fucking mind? Like in that time, right? As we were coming up, was Crazy D, Mexican rapper out of
Crazy D.
Compton who was down with Easy. He was down with NWA. He's actually on
He's
one
on
of the
Dope
records.
Man.
He's on Dope Man. Because before we heard NWA, he's the only one we heard get on the mic, like just busting
Bust.
curses
Yeah.
everywhere. Motherfuck this, motherfuck that,
Yeah.
pussy this, pussy that, suck my dick. Because everybody was trying to rap kind of clean
Oh, for sure.
at that point.
Nobody
'cause-
Nobody was cursing like
no, because we were trying to emulate what we were hearing on the radio, and on the radio they weren't playing curses, so we're all writing this clean shit. And we hang out with D for the first time somewhere, and he gets on the mic and he's motherfucker that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh man, it opened up my world. Salute to Crazy D.
Yeah, crazy.
That's
It was
crazy.
somewhere in Southgate. He left me speechless to that.
Oh yeah, he could rap his ass off too. That was the thing. It's like he never really got on.
He didn't get on, like, yeah.
but he was dope.
Easy loved him too, man. Easy,
Yeah.
that's why he put him on the records, because he wanted to get the Mexican fans.
Yeah.
He always had, he used his voice in different parts of NWA albums and at the end of Dope Man.
What's crazy is that if
dope.
you heard this dude rap in that time, right? He had a different sort of confidence than most motherfuckers trying to do it, because he was hanging with these dudes already, and like he was just kind of advanced, maybe too advanced for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Know what I mean? But like when you heard him get on the mic, you were like, okay, this motherfucker knows what he's doing, and like he was like, no hesitation. It's kind of like you know what I mean? Like when you get on and you're like
Yeah.
there's no hesitation in the rip for you. I know you snap right the fuck in.
My brother.
And homie did that same thing. There was no nervousness in this motherfucker. He got on a mic and he was like blasting it off. I always respected that about him. It was too bad he never really got on, but
Is this him
Yeah.
right here?
That's
yeah, that's him right
that's
there.
the boy right there.
Really?
And that's Candyman right next to him.
Yep.
That did Knockin' Boots. That record Knockin' Boots, Candyman. He was early in hip hop in LA.
A lot of old English right there in the back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that old English was
That was popping back then.
that was driving motherfuckers. Tell you what. And D got a Budweiser. He ain't fucking around. He got a Budweiser in his hand. He ain't.
Look at his face, though. He got bitter beer face.
I want to ask you, Sendog, I want to ask you another question, Sendog, and taking it back. In the earlier days, for people that don't know, your brother Mellow Mayonnaise got on first with Mentirosa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have a couple pictures at the house where you came out with us. You used to do shows with us. I think at the show we went to TJ, and I have a picture of all of us on stage. And I was just always curious, like you kind of came into it early. This is before Cypress. You were kind of tasting already what the fame part is and the doing shows and fans and how was that experience, like, you know, just being up there on stage in the beginning, because that was before Cypress.
Yeah. You know, it was cool. We would work out our routines right there in front of my mom's crib on the sidewalk on the front lawn. And we go out and bust them that weekend, you know. And Be Real was part of those early shows.
Yeah, he was there too, yeah.
With us too, you know what I mean? And then just to get on the stage with all of them, because by that time he had brought my sisters in the mix, so they were dancing for him. So just for all four of us to be on the stage together is really what I wanted to, you know, feel what that energy was like.
Yeah.
And even if it was just like doing a dance or two here and there, that was enough for me.
It was dope
at that time, you know. So, you know, Mellow Man, his show was kind of cool, and it offered like an energy kind of deal. So I don't even think I ever hesitated when I saw my chance. I would just run up. I don't even know. Sometimes you guys
because we were
saw
doing
me.
big shows. We were doing big shows at the time. That record was big, so we were out there doing big shows. So that's why I was tripped that you kind of tasted it a little early before even Cypress.
Oh yeah, that helped us because I sort of like would just learn by watching this dude, and that kind of helped me. Like that was like my compass right there.
And then too, I can't front Kid Frost. And he was
True
doing
that.
shows around that same time, and he would have an hour set, do 45 minutes, and then bring us all on the rap.
True that.
And give us all
before anybody.
Yeah.
Would.
Wow.
Give us all introductions and all 2-minute, you know, go.
Hey, that's real talk.
Wow.
And he let us
That's
rip.
crazy.
Like no other rappers did that for us.
Wow.
Let's just say that shit right off top. No other rappers were putting us on like my man right there. Like, cause I'd roll with him to a lot of the shows.
Yeah.
We'd roll with him.
He was big
and
too at the time.
and he would put us on. And at times when I was with him just by myself and Sendog wasn't there, he'd have me come on and be like, "Yo, this is my man, Be Real, Cypress Hill. They're coming out soon. Make sure you check them." And he'd have me do like a freestyle or a verse.
That's fire.
And, you know, a lot of people don't know that, but salute to Frost for that because he didn't have to do that.
Yeah,
he would take 10 minutes out of his set just to
yeah.
put us on. And we weren't asking him for it.
Yeah.
We were just there to support him, like, and be, you know, like we're rolling with Frost right here. And he'd just be like, "Yo, Ralph M," or whoever his DJ was at the time,
Put their stuff on.
their shit on and
Let's do it.
So by
that's
the
crazy.
time
That's
that
fire.
we got around to doing shows or getting on stage, there was no intimidation
Yeah.
or hesitation. There might have been some little nervousness here and there, but we're gonna hit that thing and attack it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, that's our mentality. You know, we would never. You know, I think thanks to the training that we had coming up, we were never intimidated by that scene.
yeah, no.
Just go up there.
Let me ask you something else. Were you guys originally called Cypress Hill Tribe, or was that the original name that you guys came up with?
Yeah, Tribe was
Yeah.
up there, and then we heard Tribe Called Quest was using Tribe, and Booyah Tribe was using Tribe, so we thought it was a little redundant, so we snapped the Tribe right off
Wow.
of it.
And that was early because they didn't last too long. It was kind of the beginning with Cypress Hill
Probably
Tribe.
the 89 or something.
Yeah, 89, yeah.
Wow,
like
that's
right as we're getting our deal,
Wow.
because we couldn't use the name we had previous to that. We just didn't like it anymore. It was like played.
Yeah, that's
So-
crazy, man. I remember that. That's why I wanted to ask you about that.
But that's why we were real cool with Booyah, because they heard we were calling ourselves Tribe, and they're like, "Well, we're the other tribe." And we're like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah, for sure.
Because they happen to be Damus like us, right? So we're like, all right. And then Tribe Called Quest came, and we're like, all right, there's too many.
Too many tribes, yeah.
Yeah, let's just pop it off.
No, Cypress Hill is
Yeah.
tight. I like Cypress Hill. Let's go.
It always went. It always went against the grain of whatever was going on in hip hop at that time. So if you had your thing, we're gonna come out and we're not gonna sound like anything or look like anything.
Right.
And to a large degree, we left that up as a mystery to figure it out because the pictures were so vague. and shit like that.
No,
You
it's
know what
true.
I mean?
People love
Absolutely
though.
true.
Yeah.
People love the mystery.
That was that metal shit.
Yeah.
The way metalheads would do that in rock bands like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin do abstract covers of their shit where you're not
yeah, you
showing
put it up for
yourself.
your
Right,
fans'
yeah, you're not on the
interpretation.
cover.
Yeah.
It's just like artwork, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we were on the back of one or two covers, but never the front.
That's dope.
Yeah, we made sure of that. No one wanted to show their face. And that kept us anonymous for a while till, MTV shit hit. Then, you're not so anonymous anymore. You're total public.
You know what's crazy? I was listening to some new music the other day, some new hip hop, and I just kind of, I don't know, I was thinking about, because you could give me the star, and it's sitting in my room right there, and so I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, man, I haven't heard like another Cypress in this generation. Like,
Oh, they won't be.
who
man.
would that be? Who would I say
That
is
would
the
be
closest-
Cypress.
closest thing to it, you know what I mean? But it's just crazy. That's why I love the 90s. I just think it was just
Damn, that's
like what
great.
Sendog was saying, it was such a, I don't want to be like you, I want to be so different than you, is what made it so dope, because everybody ranged the sound so far out because everybody wanted to be different. You know what I mean? So it gave you this different, just so much different styles of hip hop. You know what I mean?
I think
When we crewed up, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When we crewed up in the late 80s and decided this is what's going to be, the Gangster from Compton thing was the big sound. You know what I mean? Everything that came out was Compton this, or had to do with the gangbanger scene in LA and stuff like that. And it just became so direct. And I remember one day, Muggs telling me that he wanted to be different from all that. He didn't want to do anything that anybody's ever done. And I was like, well, all right, cool. We'll do that. You know what I mean? And he was right. You know what I mean? The more you change it up and go against the flow, that's also a recipe for success.
And
I feel.
let me say this, Julio. I think you see less groups now and more individual artists because, at least in hip hop, speaking directly to hip hop, you see more single artists, like singular artists, than you see groups. You might see a duo here or there, but it's like Chuck D said, and this is very real, the renegotiation when it's 5 or 6 guys or 4 gets crazy for the record company. They have to deal with 4 individuals, the egos and all that shit. And in rap, they don't want to do it. They'd rather invest in a solo artist.
Solo artist, yeah.
Yeah, because then you're worried about, can these dudes stand the test of time? Can this group stand the test of time? Because we all know that sometimes, like with what happened with just recently with Migos, and I'm not speaking to the death of Homie, I'm speaking to one member going off, and now it's not Migos anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Right? And they are afraid of that, because if they're investing all this time and money and energy into this group, and then one becomes bigger than the other 2, and someone gets in his ear and say, well, you don't need those other 2, you can go float off and do your thing, that fucks up the whole dynamic here and fucks up the bag here. And now who's gonna get him, right? And now there's animosity here and tension, because it's like, is the importance of who they are going to shift to this right here, right? Now that he's going solo, are they going to fuck us off over here and just go support him? And it creates this dynamic that they don't want
investment. Yeah,
they don't want to invest in it, and especially in hip hop, because it's a lot of ego driven, prideful.
And it happens
motherfuckers.
so often too.
Happens so much, so it's easier.
Most groups break up.
So if there is a Cypress like, or a Wu-Tang like, or any kind of like or inspired by, you ain't gonna see it on that level. You're gonna have to find it.
That.
You know what I mean? Because these fuckers ain't signing it. They would have to be like on some very special shit for them to want to invest in that.
Right.
Sendog, I want to ask you something, because you were talking about the first album. I want to ask you about when you were recording that, did you know, like when you Mug said, I want to do something different, were you like, oh, this is the different thing I'm doing, or were you just kind of rolling along with it, like, okay, I'll do Latin lingo, I think it's dope, I guess, or did you know? Or did you...
No, I didn't know. I knew that we had a bunch of good songs already. By the time we did Latin lingo, we already had a lot of the record done, and it was all a first time experience for me. You know what I mean? Like, no, I had never really been in a studio where I was allowed to take time
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So it was all a beginning thing and a first time thing, and I just remember the process of seeing the wheels go.
So Muggs, he's producing you through this whole thing because you're new to this. So
Muggs,
is he
Muggs
like
and Joe the Butcher.
Oh, Joe the Butcher.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Joe the Butcher had more of the
Giving you
advice for me,
showing
at that
you the
point,
way
know what
how
I
to
mean?
record.
But it was I can't say it was either anybody's set. It was all of our set trying to accomplish one thing, which was the great album.
Yeah.
And that was accomplished.
Right. No, for sure. It was so different when they came out because nobody, because out of Mellow Man Ace Mentirosa, people thought it was gonna be like somewhat of that or something, but it was just so not that.
No,
it was so not that, and it just blew. It just blew people's back, man.
We have this one song called the Funky Cypress Hill Shit.
Yeah.
And at that time when it came out, it took me maybe a few days to wrap my ears around it, and my ears put my brain in together working on it, because it was kind of like an ill little song, and you never heard nothing like that in hip hop. So at that point, I knew that we were just being different, and we probably would be those different dudes, and it worked out. We were, you know what I mean? It stood out. It separated us from, the mass of artists over here. You know what I mean? It put us over here with guys that that we grew up listening to, like Chuck and Flav.
Yeah.
And Run and D and things like that.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
where it put us at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
Word up. Man.
To Cypress Hill, man. Hearing these early stories is fire.
I'm sorry because I haven't seen Sen for so long.
Salute
I
to
never
you,
get to
Sen.
interview
Nah, that's
Sen
amazing.
Dog. I never get to interview Sen Dog.
I didn't know a lot of
for
this.
him.
We would, the whole scene back then was based. It was like a dance based scene when we grew up, coming up. But there was hip hoppers in the mix. Him, I, my brother, B, and there was like a network here in places. We wanted to go places and hear hip hop, and not many people were playing it, but Julio G.
Yeah.
So we would mob up to the places where he was gonna DJ at, because we knew we were gonna hear our music. You know what I mean? And then eventually, we just started rapping, and he would let us always MC.
We started doing shows. Yeah, we started little showcases and
backyard parties.
Yeah, backyard parties.
Oh man.
So y'all would rock his parties as
Yeah.
I would rock.
MCs?
Yeah,
That's how that happened.
We had that, and we had like a routine at the end of my mix, and so we would use Jekyll and Hyde Genius rap, and I would just let them rap, but I would bring the mic, and then because people didn't really just even have a mic sometimes, so I would just plug in the mic, like y'all ready, and they had a routine. Like I would cut, dick, and then that's when Tyrone, our boy Tyrone, that's from Funk Dubious, Tomahawk Funk. He would come in, and then Sen Dog would come in. He'd know when I do the cuts in. This when you come in, and when I introduced these guys to Muggs, I actually brought these guys to their house to do a demo.
So you introduced?
I introduced Sen and B to Muggs because Muggs, I already been friends with Muggs, but he had somewhere to record. And I was trying to get us a record deal. So I didn't even know. I was so young. I just knew somebody. They want to hear something. Oh, we got to go. And my friend Muggs got a recorder. Muggs, could we use your? And we did it all in one take. And we used Houdini Friends. And we had to do the same routine, but I was just doing the cuts on Houdini Friends.
Yeah, on a little 4-track.
On a little 4-track, because we only had one take. We couldn't chop. We couldn't punch.
Wow.
Muggs had a boom box.
Yeah,
and a 4-track.
And a little 4-track. And we recorded these little demos that, it didn't turn out to none, but, I gave it to some people to try to get something going. But that
was the spark, though.
That was how we got to his house first. And then I brought him to Cypress and you should go hang out with the homies, Muggs. You just be sitting here by yourself, man. Come on, let's go to the block.
Yeah.
And that's how he just
So how was Muggs in those early days, as far as was he always a visionary sonically?
Yeah, he always had a sense of what he wanted to do, I think.
He was hip hop like us.
Yeah, he was hip hop. He
was hip hop.
He listened to everything,
Yeah.
right? Like the way
Were you guys all into metal back then too?
Yes, we listened to everything. Like if you looked at Sen Dog's record collection and Muggs's record collections, they were pretty much with a lot of the same shit in there. You know what I mean? But only the difference was that Muggs had a lot of New York hip hop type shit in his stuff that Sen Dog didn't have yet, right? But in those crates, you could see the similarities of that we like the same music. So it was always easy to snap into the same page. He was always focused. like, cause he's a baseball player originally, and you know, people were scouting him to like play baseball.
Oh wow.
And he chose to turn in the baseball cards. He bought his first turntables from his cards,
Wow.
Yeah.
and like decided right then, like, fuck this baseball shit. I'm going with becoming a DJ. And
Wow.
I think he always knew he was going to the producer role. It was just a matter of what his path was to get there.
Yeah.
Because he was always a pretty focused young dude.
That's crazy, man. I got two memories of Muggs. We used to go to his house and practice, and just like you said, he wanted a DJ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He would like, we'd be hanging out drinking 40s and smoking weed in front of the crib, and he'd leave. He'd go to the house, practice for an hour and a half, and then come back and pick up where he left off. Hey, let me get a beer.
Wow.
I'm like, where'd you go? I went and practiced right quick.
And you know, when we talk about putting the hours in,
passion.
right? When we talk about putting the hours in on the passion, that is one thing we did see him do, like, because he trained to become a battle DJ too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he goes into this mode where he's just practicing to go to Chicago to win a DMC, right? And he won one.
Yeah, he did.
And that was like crazy, because we're like, we were seeing him go through the process, and just like, he's like a sponge. You know, if you show him something, he's picking that up and turning it into something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the crazy thing about him. Like, his ability to like learn something and then like utilize it. We didn't know that he was a break dancer for some years until he brought back a tape and showed this dude
Really?
and me this tape of him in the squad that he was with, they would go tour in like Thailand and
Indonesia.
He was doing
places
it
like
for
this.
real,
They
for
were-
real.
Yeah, and we saw some of his combinations and shit like this. We're like, oh my God, we didn't even know.
Sick breakdancer.
Yeah, like the dude adapts to everything.
Some people just talented, like whatever they put their mind to.
You know, like if there was like like in hip hop, you know, we all have our lane within it, right? Like, some guys are dope DJs, some guys are dope producers, some guys are dope rappers, some guys are dope just on stage. They're not so great in the studio, and everybody's got their individual lanes, right? But the guy that could do all the lanes, you know, there should be like an All-American jacket for him, like there is in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like the All-American or whatever. Because there are motherfuckers like him that can do all the aspects of it, like in this crazy, unique way.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because even the graph work, I mean, a lot of people didn't know he would even fuck around, you know, like writing graph shit.
Wow.
Like, the dude just, I'm
Yeah, he's
surprised.
hip hop. He's very
Surprised he didn't get into MC, and I tried to write him a few bars, and he didn't. You know,
Yeah.
really was reluctant for that part.
That was not what he wanted.
He didn't. I guess he knew. You know, like, nah, that's not me.
Who came up with the aesthetic, like the covers, you know, the skulls and the heavy metal
All of us.
vibes?
All
like,
of us
That was
together.
just what y'all was into.
Yeah,
Because
that
it's
was-
so different than the other, like LA.
Yeah, just throw ideas
Well, that's what
in that
Southgate.
hat.
Remember, that's what Southgate was about back then. Remember saying
Yeah.
in Southgate High School? I remember when I went to Southgate High School. I was coming from Linwood. I was really supposed to be going to Linwood High School, but I had a fake address in Southgate, so that's how I met these guys. And I used to go to, like, on a Monday, I used to like trip out because I'll be seeing all these kids with these shirts from the concert, and it reminds me of you guys' first Cypress shirt, because that was the impact it had.
Yeah.
It was the skull. It's very recognizable in the front, the first Cypress one. And I remember seeing everybody wearing it. It always reminded me of high school. It was like, damn, they kind of rode the same kind of, they caught the kids with the look of it. You know what I mean? I remember Ozzy Osbourne had some ill shirts. Some of
Yeah.
these shirts
Yeah.
were so ill, like,
Roddy
Nah, you know who
Oh,
had
man.
who had the illest shirts that were like the most impactful at the time was like Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Yeah, they had ill ones, bro.
Yeah, and AC/DC.
AC/DC.
So
Yeah.
you ever seen hip hop album covers from that time period? They almost got predictable.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? No one was taking a risk or a dare.
You want to know what
like
they were
that
doing?
with so what?
In my opinion, the way that the artists were in the 60s, where everybody had to be on the cover and they had to look shiny and sharp and shit like that.
Right.
That's what that era was in hip hop, where they wanted everybody looking marketable and like, here, let me sell you these faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
all polished too. Like
True.
what our shit was crazy gritty and out the box, and sort of sinister in comparison. You know what I mean? Where a lot of these other things that were existing at the time were very glossy and like popish, but like, you know, within the hip hop culture.
When's the first time you guys stepped on stage or when you got off stage and you said, "Oh shit, we got something, dog. This is we got them." Because I mean, it came so heavy, like the wave was just so like boom. I don't know where did it like woo click?
Probably in New York. When we flipped the first New York crowd, for me, that was it. Like,
wow,
I didn't give a fuck about anywhere else at that
because New York
point.
loved y'all like a motherfucker.
Well, because we knew if we could flip New York, anywhere could be flipped.
Yeah.
Like, whereas before we might have done a showcase here in LA and motherfuckers was just like, all right, cool. I kind of like them. You know what I'm saying? Or being different about it. Like, psh.
Yeah. They didn't get it.
But when we flipped New York, it caused the fucking ripple that came all the way down here on the West Coast that was like, hey, you got to see these Cypress motherfuckers. Well, ain't they from here? How come? Wasn't until they put the stamp on us that motherfuckers got excited about it, you know? And then eventually we would come back home and flip it, but it was New York.
I have to
New York was really hip hop, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I mean, but at that time,
Pure.
more like that's what
straight pure.
everyone wanted, that acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I gotta ask you this, man. I've been wanting to know this too, man. When did you guys like break with the white kids, where it was like it seemed like you were loved in hip hop, but these white kids that are into this whole other music, they attached to Cypress, and you're like one of the only groups that kind of they did that with.
yeah.
Two things.
How did that happen?
Two things. Two reasons. One was Lollapalooza for sure. We introduced this crazy ass hip hop energy to these punk rock kids, metal kids, alternative kids, skate kids, BMX kids, all those who are coming out to see maybe like the Chili Peppers or Soundgarden, even Ice Cube, because he had that kind of crowd too.
Yeah.
All those Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, the rest that was playing on their Ministry, all those kids came to see us on that side stage. For some fucking reason, I cannot tell you why they gravitated to us, but
Y'all had the weed.
Well, that too. But they came over. And it started from there. And then we put out Insane in the Brain for the part 2 on that, because now we got a video that is showing kids, you know, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. And the one Samoan that was in the crowd, Schoolboy, hello. They were all stage diving and crowd surfing and doing that crazy ass shit, you know, seeing this different energy that no one had seen in traditional hip hop yet. So that right there caused other kids that were listening to punk and rock and metal and whatever to come and check out what Cypress Hill was about, because that video was like a promotion on our energy.
Wow, that's crazy.
When you think about it. When you show a video, and Onyx did this too, when you show a video with that kind of energy and everybody's moving and that shit, your crowd comes to that show and 9 times out of 10 emulates this energy.
Yeah, they expect that.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they don't expect
Not expect it.
it.
I'm just saying,
They emulate it.
Yeah.
They do it because they want to replicate what
Yeah,
they've seen in
for
this
sure.
video.
For sure.
They want to be a part of this
They want to be
connection.
part of that. No, I
We
used to be
did
the
a-
kid that wanted to be a part of that.
And I thought it was great on the behalf of like the guy who directed the video, Josh something, if I'm not mistaken, so long ago. But we did it at the DNA Lounge in San Francisco. Trace provided the mushrooms. Thank you, Trace, for being silent.
Oh, that's what we meant, Trace.
That was the other ingredient that brought everyone around.
Yeah.
It helps. It helps.
And we were wilding the fuck out, and it was a promotion of that energy, that video, right? And that's what got those kids into us, and like, you know, they started talking about us to the others.
Yeah, it's like you guys were like one of the only hip hop groups that I would say, you know, now today you have a Wu-Tang that I think it kind of is comparable. In
Yeah,
that
for
way
sure.
too.
Absolutely.
They
Ice
crossed
Cube-
into the Ice Cube too.
Ice Cube had it
been
too.
able to touch
Still has it.
But Cypress, you guys caught that wave of both energies at one time, which was just crazy in hip hop.
I would say
We also-
I would say out of all the hip hop groups that get offers to do shit in metal festivals is definitely Wu-Tang, Onyx, us, and who else was it? They were just saying
Ice Cube.
and Ice Cube. Us four, probably, you know, you'll see more of us at metal concerts doing shit on the lineup than most other hip hop groups. You won't see it so much.
I was gonna say right before that we did a college tour. You know, in the early days.
And Ice-T, sorry.
That like a college network kind of word of mouth vibe was going on about us. And eventually, I think a lot of those kids, they eventually saw us at Lollapalooza too, and I think that helped out a lot.
That was a connect, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy because I'd never seen that in hip hop. I'm like, damn, these guys got like a whole other audience going on over here. And it's crazy because when I perform with you guys, I've done like a lot of shows with you when we've done these metal shows, and then just Cypress is the only one there, but we seem to kill it at the show. They love it. Like it's like
those are the ones
crazy.
that give me the biggest anxieties, Julio.
The metal shows,
yeah, the metal shows, because I'm like, I'm always like, why are we here?
Yeah,
I'm like always.
Yeah.
I'll always ask Bobo like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but we were
I gotta
ripping those
say,
shows. We were ripping
Until
those
we
shows.
get up there and then
Oh,
it's
it's
on.
on.
You know, I don't know too many other hip hop bands that have gone on right before Metallica.
Yeah, no.
But it's-
Except us guys,
I
you know,
got-
heavy.
I want to speak as the metalhead. It's because hip hop is metal.
It is.
It just doesn't have
Preach.
the heavy guitars, you know.
Preach on
and,
it. Preach on it.
and your guys' sound is like a psychedelic, like Psycho runs as a theme, but it's psychedelic,
Right.
You know?
Psychedelic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could dig that. I mean, you know, there's a lot of these little pieces that connect us to that world. So, you know, but it just surprised me the way that we got embraced like that, because that was something that was unintentional. It wasn't like something that we had planned to do. It would just happen.
Yeah.
Sony was even trying to figure out, how do we deal with this shit? They're an urban group. Like the urban department wants this, but so does the alternative department. And that's never happened, where they're like arguing, like, who gets the group? Who gets to handle the fucking group? Like the alternative is saying, hey, we got K-Rock on this.
Yeah.
We got fucking all alternative radio on this, blah, blah, blah. We should be running this group. And the urban department's like, fuck you. This is hip hop.
True.
They started over here and we need to be running this. And they could never fucking find the middle ground.
Wow.
Really. You know, and that's why, hence the two singles for Rap and Rock Superstar, was so that they both had something to work.
That makes totally sense.
Yeah.
And so that we like could, you know, separate them and not alienate one department over the other, because we were like in a unique situation where we had both in want of our time. And, you know, in that time you had to like choose one. And we said, fuck you, we're going to put out 2 singles and like, let's just see what happens. Both y'all got to
Let me ask you guys real quick about Rock Superstar. So that song was like a game changer for you guys because it came later in the career and it was big. And I don't think anybody expected it to be as big. Because, you know, when you get your early
We should have got a Grammy nomination for that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thank
And because it plays in so
motherfucker.
many movies, and it's just such an
100%.
impactful song, and it just ends the show. It's just an incredible ending to the show. But how did you, when that came, did it change the game for you guys with the label? Or did you feel they were kind of not believing in you guys, or was that a game changer?
At that point, yeah, you know, you're like, do y'all still want us on this fucking label? They have to pay us more money each album. We know they don't like that, but they love us, but they don't like that part. So it's like, I think sometimes they hope for a tank when they give you a 7-album deal.
That's crazy.
And each album is doing really well and exceeding the fucking
right.
the standard points that, like, okay, the bonuses that happen if you hit this target or that target, it keeps on upping your money for each negotiation. Because let's just say you make a 7-album deal, they say, okay, 75,000 for this first one, 100 for the next one, 150 for the next one.
Yeah.
But within each one, if you hit the bonus points, they got to pay you more money, and then you got to renegotiate for the second album, because like,
Plus, you went platinum
You a
plus
platinum
on
artist now.
150.
well, that's all a part of it,
thing,
but
too,
it's all
so-
like, you know, if you've hit all the marks and you've made all that money back, yeah, then your lawyer can obviously renegotiate the next deal, even though it's supposed to be for 100,000. Well, you hit all the bonus points over here in this game, and you leveled up. So now you can, instead of getting that 100,000, you can get 250,000 or 300,000. And the more successful you get, you can renegotiate the contract. So in a 7-album deal, if you keep hitting fucking if you keep,
I feel you.
if you keep hitting the home runs,
Yeah.
you keep getting to renegotiate. It keeps costing them more money.
Yeah,
and
no,
now
sure.
in Napster coming in a digital age where it's like, oh shit, people are downloading all our music for free. What the fuck?
Oh.
Now it's costing them all this money to not get it back like they used to because it's now out there for free.
Game changer, bro.
So now we got to somehow cut this shit off.
Yeah.
Because we can't afford it.
Yeah.
Not until they figured out how to dip into the digital. But at that point, they didn't know how.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it's
I
like,
remember that time.
yeah, I mean, that's it in short because we
That's
can go on
crazy.
forever. But it is now that time.
Time for submissions. 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 Time for submissions.
All right, we got a bunch of submissions in today. We got a lot, actually. We got Psycho Les up in here saying someone helped him find his joint. Check it out here.
Oh, man.
Hey, yo, what you gonna do when you drop your joint?
Throw her in the gutter, go buy another.
What you gonna do, Les?
Oh, man.
What are you doing, Papa?
Oh, man. Look at that.
Papa.
It's in joint jail. It's in joint jail. Oh, no. Don't break him out. Don't break him out. Is he going to break the joint out of joint jail, Doc?
Where's this MacGyver shit?
Oh,
again?
man.
Shit.
I don't think you need the joint that bad. I mean, think about how dirty that shit is. Super tweezers? They're fucking chopsticks, dog. Break it up with chopsticks.
Oh, no, he ain't gonna pull that.
Oh,
joint
man.
out. Man, don't.
Oh, man. He pulled it. He got it. Oh, no. One more adjustment.
I'm telling you that I will take it out.
He says, I will take it out. I'm
Doesn't-
telling you.
Doesn't care how much.
No one cares. I will take it out. He must be in France.
Man, you've been carrying it. You've been
Oh,
carrying
man.
that for like 5 years.
My
Come on,
dude is
man.
very helpful.
You got it or you don't? What's up,
Hey, this
man?
is help, dog.
Let's see if we got it.
We were talking about help in the beginning.
I mean, I told you.
I told.
Was taking it out. God Almighty, Papa Jesus.
Oh, with a funky field tip attached. All right. That deserves a round, definitely.
Wow.
The French magician.
Was that a dirty funky tilt?
No, it looked
Funky
clean.
tilt tip?
It might have been dirty because it was in that little shit. You just
Damn,
like
bro.
hit it with some flame before
In that
you
little
hit it.
gutter.
Oh, it's his shirt.
Yeah, it's his shirt.
Wow.
Nice. No,
don't
maybe
know.
it's not his shirt.
I don't know. It looks
That's
dirty.
subjective. I don't know.
That looked a little sus or
a
what?
little dirty
That was
there.
a recycle right
Better
there.
rinse that shit out, Les. Right next.
Might not have any rubbing alcohol up there.
Through that.
You know what, Bolton? I want you to know that to get rubbing alcohol in Europe is next to impossible.
It's yeah, it's
Like,
not easy.
Is it?
Like here, we could just run through gallons of it like it ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Not there. You try to find what you call just a normal bottle there.
They'll ask you, did you hurt yourself?
Yeah, you got.
Are you hurt? Do you
ain't
need a
just
doctor?
you're not just gonna go get some rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I
And
grew
if
up
you're
in the
18, no, we're
Netherlands.
just going to clean our tips.
I don't remember that.
Clean your tips,
That's crazy.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you go over there and you bring just a whole bunch and you just leave them behind.
Yeah. All right, next.
They'd be like, you don't want to clean your tip with rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, that would hurt.
And we
Next.
got Red Boy up in here saying, I've been given into a higher power. All I need now is some of that Cali Blaze.
Oh, yes. He looks like he got himself a higher G Pen. If you're into doing dabs, man, this is the
That's the business.
yeah.
right there?
Without the torch, if you don't want the torch and you want like controlled temp dabs right there. Boom.
What?
The civilized way.
The civilized way, yes.
Damn.
G pen higher. Go G pen.
What's that running for though?
What's it running for?
250. I'm heard of.
250.
That's not bad.
That's a great
not
deal.
bad at all.
And they are dope. I mean, we use it right here on this Julio on the Stundin right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, everybody
And then
had.
the Koala Tower of Power. It's got like 14 of them right there.
That's the tower of power for sure.
We should have had GF hit this. We totally
look what
fucked
you
up.
Look what you created, Sendog. This is your creation, Sendog. You were the first. You were the first person to get Be Real high. You smoked him out first. Is that correct? Is that history? Is that true?
That's facts, B.
Is that facts?
Facts, dude.
Okay.
No. Hold on.
I think I.
No. Let me not lie. Let me not lie
What is the
here,
facts?
because I would like to blame him, but he was the first person I smoked a joint with,
Okay.
for sure. But before I met,
Do you
Sendog-
remember that time, the moment? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he was pissed off from
Were
something.
you high as fuck? Did you get fucked up?
I was
Were you
high as
tripping?
fuck. I mean, it was mid-grade weed, but I hadn't smoked any good weed, so I didn't know any better. So
It was Southgate weed. That's where everybody
Yeah, it was
had.
Southgate.
The joint you smoked with me?
yeah,
No, it wasn't.
I don't know.
It was good fucking weed.
That's what you say.
Yeah, of course. That's what I say.
Listen, I've seen your
For that
version
time,
of good
for that
weed
time,
for over
sure,
30
That side of town, for
You didn't-
sure.
you weren't
I've
smoking
seen
that
your
shit.
version of good weed for over 30 years, bro.
Bammer. Bammer.
No, Bammer. Shut the fuck up.
Bammer.
Shut the fuck up, you old fucking, you fucking norteño.
Okay. Okay.
That's why you gotta go there, man?
No. As I recall, he got so high he never left the front of my mom's crib that day.
Wow.
I was high. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say I wasn't
Right?
high.
And I walked in the crib because I went to work and came back and he was still out there.
Wow.
And
That
I
was
walked
high.
in and my dad goes, "Hey, what's wrong with your friend out there?" "I think he's sick." And I go, "No,
You're exaggerating.
I'm not." That's what he said to me, man. And I go, "Dad, he's not sick. He's just
High.
hanging out. It's whatever."
Yeah.
I think Pops knew that.
He knew.
He knew that we were.
Your pop.
So you
was-
said you don't blame Sendog fully, or said
No, he's not fully because I hit bongs before I met Sendog. I was like very much younger,
Oh, okay.
hanging out with older kids as always.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like, I didn't. By the time I got to Southgate, I wasn't smoking weed. I didn't smoke anymore. I wasn't hitting bongs, and it's a very young age. I was just doing it with this group of kids, right? When I got to hanging out with Sen and Mello, they very much smoked weed.
Yeah.
Right? Not by accident. You know what I'm saying? By design. And that's when I started smoking joints. So
Yeah,
I went
we were-
from bongs to joints, but like it was a few years in between that.
Yeah, because
Anyway.
we were about the zigzag smoke.
Sendog, did you get kicked out of Southgate High School, or did you?
I got arrested out of Southgate High School and kicked out.
You know what's crazy,
Nice.
Sen? You know what was
Nice.
crazy, Sen? I remember when I
Yeah.
first went to Southgate High School, and I was like, "Damn, there's no black people here," but I seen you guys,
Yeah.
you and your brother, and I'm like, "Oh, damn, there's 2 black people here." It was
Yeah.
like maybe like 5 people or 6 people. It was crazy.
Well, you know.
Because Linwood was different. It was
Yeah.
a lot of black kids in Linwood, but Southgate just was totally different. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But what happened? You got arrested in Southgate?
Yeah, I got accused of what's that shit? Extortion.
What?
Yeah, that I extorted somebody, and it wasn't even my deal. Somebody else was trying to do that, but he said, bring me some loot on Monday, or else me and Senan and Julio are gonna kick your ass. And that was enough. The kid's mom worked for the Linwood sheriff. She was a dispatch lady, so when that kid went home shitting a brick,
That was
she
it.
told the mom, "I got busted, I got hemmed up." But the school knew that it wasn't me. The fucking dean knew that it wasn't me, and that I didn't do shit. And then he just saw a chance of getting rid of another black kid out of the school at that, because
Yeah.
I was popular at that time in
Yeah.
Southgate. So
He was wrongly accused.
yeah, I've never said this to anybody. I never really talked about it, but fuck Dean Cap from Southgate High School.
Sorry, Dean Cap. All right, next.
And we got Wilfred Cyrus up in here saying, out in Michigan, we just harvested our first indoor crop.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
Awesome. Those are nice.
Sweet.
Doing a great job over there. Cereal milk is really good, man.
Yeah, man.
RS11 too.
That's
This
nice, too.
strain right here, if you get a chance to fuck with it, RS11, boy.
Mhm.
That shit right there. Whew, she's queen. Gotta tell you.
Shout out to Wilfred Cyrus.
Salute.
I like that.
Oh yeah, Wilfred. That's a nice looking.
Shout out
nice
Michigan.
rooms.
Word up.
And we got Joe Lee up in here saying visited Grant Grove in Kings Canyon National Park in California. Giant sequoia is called the General Grant, and it's the second largest tree in the world. Estimated age of 3,000 to 4,000 years old.
Don't run into that.
Yeah.
Go out in the Southwest, like Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and go look at all them buttes. You're looking at ancient
that's
tree
crazy.
stumps. Them ain't nothing but twigs right there.
Those are twigs in comparison, yeah.
You talking about where? You said where?
All the desert out like
Yeah.
Southwest.
Oh, in South
The desert,
okay.
and
Yeah.
what we call buttes. All those
Yeah,
flat
yeah,
top
yeah.
mountains. Those are ancient trees that have been cut down. Those are tree stumps.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Ancient stumps.
Wow.
All right.
And we got Ed G up in here saying, yo, shout to Be Real, C minus, Ill Bill, and of course, Mr. Aton and everybody at the table.
Salute.
Salute.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right.
That
Got
boy,
them
8 times.
I like that Born and Raised Cypress Hill, man. That's dope. That's a dope thing you guys
Yeah, they
collab.
killed that.
That's a good collab you guys did, man.
Yeah, they killed that. C Stone. Ill Bill.
Ill Bill.
He spits,
He
man.
does.
And he produces like
Yeah. he's
fire,
dope.
bro.
Yeah. I like Ill Bill.
Yeah.
Would you guys try the 360 swing?
No.
Hell nah.
Fuck no. I would not try the
I've
360
seen this.
swing.
You're
She about to bust that ass.
Oh, you better hold on, bitch.
That shit crazy.
Oh my God.
You better hold on, girl. You better hold the fuck on. I could see Trace doing this.
Oh my God. Oh,
This would be his punishment for being silent all the whole show.
That
Yup.
can't stop.
Oh my God, how do you stop? Oh, man. Yeah, no, I don't see myself doing this. Imagine doing that on mushrooms.
Oh man.
Hell.
You wouldn't stop doing it. You'd be like, I'm seeing things in a different way.
Oh, there's got to be some asses getting busted on that thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're strapped in and it doesn't look like she is,
It looks like there's like toe things, for your feet.
yeah, nah.
Better have some core strength.
You better
Yeah.
have some core
Yeah,
strength.
you ain't got no core strength right at that apex. That's what you getting flipped off.
Bolton, you got to know how to roll the R's if you want to get on. Next.
And that seems to be it.
That's crazy.
All right.
That's crazy right
Salute for your submissions. All the ones we didn't get to today, we'll get to tomorrow. Thank you very much. Keep them coming to BREALTVcontest@gmail.com, and we will put them on. Now it is time for us to open up the doors to the Insane Asylum. So if you got a comment, question, shout out, suggestion, we want to hear it.
We would have definitely did that swing when we was kids.
Yeah, in my mid-20s, yeah.
We wouldn't have known not to.
Welcome to the Insane Asylum.
All right, let's do this. First one up of the day, we got Bud up in here asking Armin, what do you think of the London grime scene?
Recently a lot of people have been bringing that up to me. I'm not too familiar, to be honest. But I got to get into it.
What is the London grime scene?
It's like the British rappers have like a certain
freestyles,
vibe.
Sesh
No,
vibe.
is it what do they call that? Didn't that sound start from out there?
Yeah, I don't know exactly.
It's a
where it
sound?
started.
I think it's what it is.
It's like a style of rap.
Right. It's like grunge for Seattle.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
what they're talking about.
We'll have
Would
to
the
look this
Sleaford
up.
mods be that?
Yeah, a few people have been talking about that to me recently. I gotta check it
What's
out.
it called again?
Grime.
Grime. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of it too, but
London
I'm not
grime.
necessarily clear on it.
Yeah.
You know, on Sirius XM, since it's like a satellite station, they have French hip hop on there, French R&B. Like they have a
that's dope.
station, and sometimes, occasionally, you'll hear some dope shit on there.
Mhm.
They should have the same thing for these cats up in the UK doing
Right.
shit, because like there's a lot of dope
There is.
MCs that we don't get to hear.
Yeah.
Right.
And we got El Loke up in here asking, has Armin done a song with Nav?
No, I have not. Shout out to Nav.
And we got Darren up in here asking, what does the R mean in Armin?
Armin is really just my real name spelled differently. So my real name is Armin, like Armin kind of. But you know, they call me Armin. So just when I was like maybe 11, 12, I thought it'd be cool to spell it like R-mean. I didn't even rap yet. And then when I started rapping, I kept it like that, you know?
Oh, that's dope.
It worked.
So it's really just my own name. Plus, I'm Armenian, and people think it has something to do with that.
I always
But that
thought
just
that.
happened
It's
to...
doubled up. You doubled
It
up.
always
just
thought
happened
that.
to turn out like that. You know what I mean?
That's happened to double cheeseburger right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we got Kale up in here saying, I'm seeing Cypress again this July in Toronto. Will Send Dog be there?
Will you be there, Send Dog? Are you coming?
Let me check my schedule.
Are you busy that weekend? Are you busy?
Am I too busy for work?
Then I got a dentist appointment.
Yeah.
In between movies.
You said I'm having coffee with George Clooney that day. I'm sorry, I can't.
You bet your ass I'll be there.
That's right.
Real quick, Tuesdays in between 3 p.m. and 3:30, everyone is, I'm letting you know, everybody is buzzing about the brand Tough Mama. Tough Mama started out making award-winning hemp cone blunts infused with live resin, and now they have mini mofos. Mini mofos are dog walker-sized blunts and joints infused with solventless cured resin that burns slow and smooth. Tough Mama also makes carts in a range of 100-milligram beverages called YOLO shots. YOLO shots are great for shooting or making can of cocktails, which I want to try. They have a rapid onset of 5 to 15 minutes thanks to their revolutionary nanotechnology methods. Also, keep a lookout for Tough Mama's Flower Eighths, all right? They'll be dropping just in time for Mama's Day, also known as Yo Mama's Day. Tough Mama. All right, proceed.
And let's see, next up in here, we got K-Mac saying it's really nice to see Send Dog back up in the house.
So nice to see you, Sendog.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Muchas gracias, Dr. Shane.
And we got Doobie Dan up in here telling us the worst part about leaving for work is leaving your dog at home.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though. On the flip side, you know, Eitan brings his dog to work. Somehow I allow this. I don't know how or why. But his dog is the most miserable looking dog there. Like, he's never happy. Today, our bro Mike G brought in his female dog, and a smile cracked upon Eitan's face for about 20 minutes.
Wow.
When the female dog left and Eitan, you know, started being Eitan, the smile went away. But I did see his dog smile for once.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because the dog thought he was going to get laid. Let's call it like it is. The dog is like how old, and the dog is yet to get some puss. That's what's going on with that dog.
Eitan's a cock blocker. We know this. All
Yes,
right, next.
Eitan is cock blocking his own dog.
Damn. Come on, Eitan.
I need to find the right dog for my dog.
I don't like her.
She's just not right. There's something about
He's
that
not right for
bitch.
him.
There's just something about that bitch.
Clever, clever. See what you did there.
Sometimes I got it. All right, next.
And we got Benny Rico up in here saying Trace Dog looking good in that Dodger blue.
See, I knew you lit the fuse on that.
Yeah.
It's not Dodger
It
blue.
pops
it's,
too. It pops on the screen, man.
It's
a nice
Warriors blue.
Warriors
okay?
blue.
Yes,
No,
it's-
you need yellow in there.
Warriors.
You need a little bit of yellow and white.
Looking like
You got the white, but you ain't got the yellow. You cannot splash that as Golden State.
This isn't no Dodger gear, okay? Let's not-
looking like the Dodgers manager.
Oh my God! All right, that's it. Never
Tracy-
wearing these colors again.
Tracy Mota. All right.
And we got Bam Pod up in here saying, Happy Tuesday, fam. Send Dog. The LP Mad Dog American is mad slept on, in my opinion. It's one of the best rap metal LPs ever. How was it working with Everlast?
Everlast was dope, man. You know, he's a good brother of ours for, you know, many years. And all I had to do was ask him one time, would he be on the album? And he said, yeah. And not only did he say yeah, he showed up early to the studio session. So that lets you know the
pro.
level of professional that he was on. So, you know, he did his thing and he walked out and he goes, you want me to do it again? I said, do you want to do it again? And he said, yeah. So he only really did like 2 or 3 takes of that, and we had our takes. So, you know, Everlast is dope. I don't care what.
He's very talented.
whatever.
Yeah,
He's
is
very
very
dope.
talented, that guy.
Yeah. Big up to Everlast.
Hell yeah.
And we got Karina up in here saying Latin Lingo was the first Cypress song I ever heard. Y'all became an instant favorite and continue to be.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
joining, Sendog, and thank you for all the stories.
Right on. Excellent.
Sendog, where did Latin Lingo come from? What was the
I
whole
don't know.
basis behind the song Latin Lingo?
Oh man, the Latin lingo was. I remember writing it around the same time that, at least starting to, because back then you write a little bit here, a little bit there, and right around when, right after like Kid Frost, La Raza, and Mellow and all that, like a few months after that, and I just had like a verse, and I think one day I said it in front of Mug somewhere, like I think we were at a Mellow Man show or a Frost show, and the next day he asked me, what was that rap you said? I go, said it to him again. He goes, write another verse or something. But it didn't come together till we in the studio in Philadelphia, and then B came in and he wrote a third verse for it, right? B, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then it all came together with the chorus and all that stuff. So Latin lingo, I think, was for what I think is like Mello had Mentirosa, and Frost had La Raza.
And that was you
Cypress,
guys' song of
Cypress, boom, hit him with
hit
Latin
the,
lingo.
hit the Hispanics.
Yeah.
That was the one to the Hispanics.
Yeah,
to
but
let them know.
We kept that shit street though. You know
No,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean that beat though, it was so like that beat is crazy. That's one of the crazier beats on that album, the Latin Lingo beat.
Yeah.
So Muggs already heard it, so he crafted the beat around what he heard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I heard him fucking with that beat once, and I immediately liked it, and he knew that I liked it, but he wouldn't say you could get it. You know what I mean? He didn't say that. But little did I know he was gonna come back around to it and bring it up later on.
Oh,
But I was
okay.
like, man, that beat was so dope with them like kids
Yeah.
sounding like they're playing the
Yeah.
schoolyard shit. And the Latin lingo was dope. You know what I mean? It did its purpose, and to this day still gets a good applause at the live show.
Oh, it's a classic. It's a crazy classic.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Still in the live
And the
show.
video. The video was really dope to that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
And we got Todd up in here saying, salute to Cypress Hill. Much love to the highest show in the world, Party 123.
Yeah,
Word.
salute.
Yeah, man.
And we got Jeffro up in here saying, want to salute to the Hill. These stories just make me get the chills in a good way. Respect.
Word.
Put some spec on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Twackalak up in here saying, Julio, many thanks, man. This was like a Cypress interview. So dope.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, it's cool to be able to talk. I haven't seen Sin, and I never really get to interview like Cypress, so it's like it's fun for me too. I enjoy it too.
And he's saying, shout to Armin as well. One love.
Hell yeah.
One love.
And we got Tequilas and Tacos asking, what do you all do when you feel like someone is staring at you? What do you
looking
guys
at,
do?
fool?
There's that.
Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah, stare back at him.
Stare right back at them. Look through them. Don't just stare at them. Look through them.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even pay attention.
Blow him a
like
kiss.
Put fear in him.
Or you could turn the other cheek.
And we got Megan up in here saying, B, I'm your age. And when I was into metal, when Cypress came out, one reason people wanted you in that scene was because the music mood of the time was dark. People said Cypress is dark hip hop back then.
It was. Still is. It's pretty dark. When I get really high before a set, I'll start thinking about the songs while we're doing them and be like, damn, this is some really dark shit.
Like psychedelic.
Like, oh my God, I'm in my own head so heavy.
That's crazy. While you rapping them.
Well, I'm rapping them like, damn, this is mad aggressive.
Psychedelic.
Psychedelic for sure.
And we got Jibby up in here saying, hey, fellas, much love to everybody. Hey, I was thinking, which doesn't happen often, and I said to myself, what if in an alternate reality of the multiverse, GTM was a metal band consisting of the same members that played at the NASCAR show? I would buy that album and go to that tour.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
that sounds good.
That would be dope. That would be very dope.
And we got Insane up in here saying, is it me, or do you guys also hotbox the studio when doing the show, not just the smoke box?
the studio gets boxed out. It's not quite like the box, but yeah. I mean, we smoke enough. Everybody has a joint to their head pretty much. And, it's like, there's no way not to box it out.
And we got Mr. Moo up in here asking, does Trace Dog rap? ?
Bars, Trace, let's go right now.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
The only bars he's got is soap in the shower.
That's right. That's right. Fact. Yeah, no, that's not my thing. Do what you do, good, and be at it, but that's not one of them. So,
No fucking way.
And we got Cyanide Sickness up in here saying he's working on finals right now, but had to sneak out and blaze it and watch the show.
All right. You know, sometimes you need a little reset.
That's right, man. Good luck with them finals, man.
Yeah, kill them finals, bro.
Yes, sir.
And we got Danielle up in here saying Send Dog was going off in Spanish on that first Cypress Hill album.
All right.
What's the name of that song, Sin? The one you had on there?
Which one?
Tres X.
Tres X.
Oh, Tres X.
Yeah.
That was
It was a
just
porn type of
That's a
song.
classic.
That was
bro.
just a.
It's
you
a
know,
porn
classic,
verse.
though.
It was an F around verse.
I know, but that's a classic, bro.
It is also a porn verse if you listen to it.
Yeah, but it's legendary in
Exploits.
in Cuban circles. It's legendary.
He's Capitan Pinga Loca.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hell.
There it is. B said it.
Capitan Pinga Loca.
There it is.
Captain Crazy Dick for all those who don't know what the translation of that is.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And we got Mr. Twackalack up in here saying, lost my auntie on Sunday. May I please have a moment of ohms? Blessings to all.
All right.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
we want to send you some healing vibes and prayers. And we're going to do 4 ohms. Do you know what this is? I know Steph Tone knows what this
I
is. You
think
know
I
what this
know.
is.
I
You're
think
gonna
I
you gonna do this, right?
I think I've done it before.
All right, Tracy. There's no cheating.
all right, I'm doing it. I'm
You
here.
do
I'm
this,
with you.
all right?
I'm with you.
Snack's going to peck you in your neck.
Yeah. All right. You could snap in with us. You've probably seen this, or maybe
I
not.
have no idea what's
Same
about to
thing.
happen.
It's
but
it's like a meditation thing. It's 4 ohms. You'll see. Hey, chill out, man. We hope that chilled you out, man.
And we got Fernando up in here saying, Send Dog, what happened to Latin Thug gear? I used to have that sweater back in the day.
Yeah. It ran its course, and
It sold out.
yeah,
Was
it ran its course, and I moved on to other things, man. I everybody knows I bounce around from thing to thing, and but yeah, it's around. I mean, it was around, and it ain't no more. So get over it.
Get over it. All right.
That's right.
Just get over it, Fernando. And we got GDP Smoke up in here saying, salute to the doctor and the highest crew. Good win last night for the Lakers.
You goddamn right.
yes, sir.
Oh man. It was a roller coaster game, but they pulled it out. And I gotta say, man, Austin Reeves, that kid can play ball, man. It was an exciting game to say the least, but it was great to see them get the win, 3-1. There's this newscaster on Channel 5 on KTLA. His name's Dave Pingalore. He's a Clippers fan, and he always takes a moment to hate on the Lakers every chance he can. And he was saying that anytime they get a win, he'll make an excuse for why they got the win. Like, the other team didn't have this or that. Like, it never gives the Lakers his due. I can't wait to see when the Lakers push through and the Clippers get eliminated, because they're down 3-1 right now. And he picked the Clippers to go. Yeah, Dave Pingalore, you did that.
Yeah, that's right.
You talking this guy?
Yeah, that guy. Don't even get him out. Get him out. Get him out. I can't even see his face, bro.
You did that.
You did that. All right, next.
And GDP Smoke is also saying, my Suns will finish off the Clippers tonight. Shout to Trey, Sen, and the Strong.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, finish them
Probably,
Clippers
yeah.
off. I'm Team LA all day, but you know what? Just because of Dave Pingalore, I want the Suns to finish them Clippers off. Clip the Clippers.
Damn.
sorry, Clips. If Dave Pingler wasn't such a Laker hater, you know, I'd be like indifferent. But right now, I'm not.
The sun's about to go down on the Clippers.
That's right. The sun's about to go down. About to give you a sunburn. Next.
And we got Existence up in here saying, I hit up Dr. Greenthumbs today and thought of you. Be real.
Well, thank you. I hope you got some good flavors there. There are many.
And we got Bruno up in here saying, at 13, I bought my first CD, and my mom said, do these guys talk about smoking weed? I said, yeah, Mom, but it's just lyrics. I don't do it. Little does she know.
That's funny.
I mean, that's probably what a lot of kids told their parents. Oh, no, Ma, you know, it's just, you know, that's what they talk about. I don't do it.
I don't do
No way. Me and my friends, we don't do that.
That was only half the equation. They needed them mushrooms.
Yeah, my mom's couldn't say nothing. She was selling weed.
That's great.
And we got Sancho
That
up in
must have
here.
been cool.
Yeah, it was.
We got Sancho up in here saying, Be Real TV and Smoke and Scan. I watch that shit every day.
Yeah, salute to our bro Damon Heller, Smoke and
Yeah,
Scan. He's always popping a good one off down there.
Seems to have a lot of things to do, huh? Because it's always busy.
Oh, man, there is always...
Everybody's running around LA
man.
now. Nobody wants to just pull over no more. Up
No, everybody want to run.
Everybody's dipping. Everybody's
Because they know they can get on... I think some of them run because they know they could get on TV.
Man.
Or that Damon is going to put them on.
Look, every time he goes on the reg, you know, and when it ain't a chase, it's just a daily crime spree.
No, I know. I
episode.
mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like the other day I went on and I was like, wait a minute. This is not the same chase from earlier this morning. I thought I was watching the old one.
Oh,
this is another one?
Hey, one he had tagged the other day, the 420 crime spree.
Oh, my God.
Every day a crime spree.
That was a crime spree. son.
Just turns on the radios and crime is a going.
Oh, the crime's always nonstop. He probably has.
But it ain't wrong, though.
No, he's on point.
It just sounds
It's
crazy.
what's happening, yeah, man.
It sounds crazy.
Yeah,
Salute to Damon, man. All right,
It
next.
says that on Google there's an average of 1,000 chases a year just in Los Angeles.
Yeah. People want to run.
People be, I ain't
They know
pulling
they're
over.
going to be out the next day if they don't hurt nobody.
The 1,000 would be like the number where you actually see them. Because there's always those ones that start, but then they give up right around the corner.
Yeah, because they lose them.
Yeah, they don't go for like 30 minutes and give the helicopter time.
They
to
probably
catch
don't
up.
even count those so that they don't have to put that out. 'cause
Yeah,
that
for
would
sure.
it'd scare people to know that there's like probably 2,500 chases that happen.
Right.
All right.
And we got Straight West up in here saying, you guys mentioned Kid Frost earlier. Just want to give a big shout out to the OG Kid Frost.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Salute. Big up
Salute.
Frost.
Salute, Kid Frost.
Salute.
And we got Bruno back up in here saying, Rage Against the Machine led me to Cypress Hill when I was 13. I'm 31 now.
Did they?
Get on down.
Interesting. Well, thank you for that.
And we got Curtis the Great asking the table, when is the best time to do LSD? Like the start, he's saying he has a start of a 1-week vacation coming up.
Send Dog, when should he start?
Oh, Sin, tell us about it.
Immediately. I mean, if you're considering it, go ahead, kick it off now.
I think he's talking about like what time of day, maybe.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Well, he wants to know if he took it right at the start of his vacation, is it going to last how far into his vacation?
Oh,
wow.
What?
How
I
much
would
is
say
he doing?
take it when you get there.
Yeah, take it when you get there, when you're settled in.
I mean, does that stuff last days? I mean,
No, it
how does
only
that
lasts
work?
a day,
Oh,
unless you're like consistently popping tabs or
Okay.
however you consume acid. If you're like just consistently doing it, it might last for some days, but traditionally it's some hours in a day. Unless you drop around about 3 tabs.
And we got Jay Billigan up in here saying, rappers were like superheroes back in the day. Everyone was unique and a character in their own right.
Very true.
Facts, bro.
Very true.
And now it's cookie cutter. Like everybody want to sound like everybody else because it's easier, chance to win.
I wonder when it changed and why.
I could tell you it, but
At
it's a
some
long
point,
story.
there was a transition. Yeah.
Yeah. When the industry invests in a certain other industry, certain things change, right? Positive music or conscientious music goes out the window, and gibberish and shit that leads you to do dumb shit gets out there. and people get hits with some of these nonsensical joints, and then others are like, well, we need to do joints like that. And before you know it, there's a slew of them same ass songs that are telling kids to do the same shit that lead them to the industry that they want them to go, where they got influenced from this industry.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why you hear shit the same, because it all leads you to one place. If you're in the sheep-like mentality, or I want to be like this artist, and this artist is fucking up all the time, what am I gonna do if I want to be like him? I'm gonna fuck up too. And where does that fuck up usually lead you, Julio?
In jail, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or worse.
Or worse. Yes, or worse. So
I know that hip hop took a little dip this year in sales. It's like the first year that they didn't sell, like, but what's usual. I think the times are changing. I think a lot of people, like you said, it's getting very redundant, and just people are not. Back then, it was people. We were talking about the difference. I think there was like somebody wanted to be the best. You know what I mean? There was a concept behind that. You know, being the dopest, and the difference between each other, and the challenging that. That's what made it. I think the concept of no biting is the dopest concept in hip hop.
Right.
That's what made hip hop so dope.
Yeah.
That one.
Now
rule
it's
was
okay.
set. Now it's exactly. It's just like everybody sounds the same, and I think just people want to get into music because they have a computer. The access of making a song now is so much more easier than having to find a studio back then. You know what I mean?
I think people are gonna have to get more creative to win people back.
Absolutely.
And that's just the whole thing.
It's all about making good music, man.
Yeah.
Good music
Cut
always
through.
will cut through.
Cut through all the bullshit. Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
All right, Bolton.
And shout to Twitch earlier for the hype train.
Thank you for the hype train, man.
Yeah.
And we got Callie Highs up in here saying DJ Quick has a new song called Class, and it's fire.
I heard it. So dope.
Wow.
Super dope.
He stays dope. DJ.
That guy's incredible, man.
Yeah.
And we got Curtis the Great saying, I start out with a low temperature dab and then continue to raise it after each dab.
Yeah.
Take me higher is what he's saying.
Bring it.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be it for questions from the Asylum, but I have a question for Sen Dog. Katy Perry is performing in Vegas in May. I was wondering, actually all of us at the studio were wondering if we could crash at your place after the concert.
That is a great idea.
In the doghouse, if you will.
Great idea.
Can we
Sam.
crash at the
Great
doghouse?
Yeah, I like all you guys, but fuck no. You guys are all cool, but nah, fuck it.
You got kids over there, man.
Good idea.
Would you be interested in going with them
To what?
to see Katy Perry, dog?
Oh no, man.
Why not?
Because I'm not 16 years old, 16-year-old little girl, Gotta listen to Katy Perry. That's not me, man. I wouldn't. Big up to Katy Perry. She does look good.
You know, they were talking. There was rumors that they might let her go from American Idol because she was treating some of the contestants like, dirt.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just expect a phone call from us in May.
Bring your swimming trunks too, because he's got a nice swimming pool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice pool.
Why not ask Trace to go?
Man, see, they know better. They know better. That ain't gonna happen. I ain't answering the door.
Trace actually has a nice ass crib, all to his lonesome, all to himself.
It's wide open. Huh?
Yeah, it's just him and
Okay.
5 bedrooms in that motherfucker.
It's like a hotel.
Damn.
Yeah.
Refrigerator full.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him.
No, you guys got options, so yeah. Well, I guess we'll see you guys.
Man, it can't be in May,
Post
dog.
some stories.
I'm gonna be gone during May.
Oh, shit.
Gotta make it June.
I'll make sure to watch your stories on Instagram.
Oh, man.
That's hilarious.
We're all gonna wear the same sweaters.
Katy Perry coming to a city near you, baby.
That's right.
Word up. Before we go, I want to say our prescription boxes, I believe, are dropping tonight at www.brealtv. The box will include a Funko. A CD will come signed, and now out of the 30, we are putting out one lucky person. We're putting out one box for a lucky person that will get hooked up with the Crystal Greenthumb Funko. G-Pen products and more exclusive collectibles, all right, only available at www.breal.tv. Make sure you check it out. Thanks to our sponsor and Tough Mama and all y'all folks that be getting down with us throughout the week. Make sure you check out the mix right after this on Twitch. B_RealTV is the place, right here. Go there and check out the mix. We're gonna have some cool shit popping off today. All right, so thank you very much for your energy, time, love, and support. As always, salute to the people in the Twitch ward, the Discord, BREAL.TV, and right here on YouTube. Much love and positive energy and vibes to all y'all. Julio, you guys shout outs.
Shout out to everybody. It's really fun to be back. I was glad to see Sendog, man. I haven't seen him in a minute. And always Armin, he's like family, you know what I mean? So congratulations, Armin, with everything, man. So
thank you,
support
bro.
my man. This Friday album coming out, you know what I mean? So, and always good to see Steph also, you know what I mean? And waiting for Psycho Les to come back, you know what I mean?
Leezy.
We'll be back next week on Tuesday, man. Everybody have a good one, man. Thanks for tuning in.
Armin.
Yo, thank y'all for having me again. You know what I mean? Thank you for the hospitality every time. It was fun. Amazing hearing these stories. Salute to y'all. And my album Mean dropping this Friday. Next Thursday, May 4th at the Roxy. I'll fuck with your boy.
Word. Bolt.
Shout the Insane Asylum. Thank you guys so much. Shout to Ray Morning Shot Films. Shout to the Dominator. And shout to my Uncle Trace for coming through. What's up, Trace?
Big shout out to everybody around the table today. Armin, thanks for coming through. I love hanging out with you guys. It's always fun coming in here. Guys up here in the tree hanging out with me. And that's about it. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Mark Sargent and Karen B. Strange World, episode 404 tonight. David Weiss, San, B, Julio G, Armin, Bolton, Ray and Morning Shot Films, Taryn at Velvet Hammer, The Dominator, Pedro, Aton, Javi Lopez, Psycho Lizzy out in Europe. Have a good one out there, brother. The Insane Asylum, the Twitch Ward, the Discord Leads. Y'all have a great week. And catch you all on Friday.
Yep, everybody here present here today, you know, big up. Julio, great to see you too, man. Been a long time, brother. Great.
Yes, sir.
Always good to see you. And my man Jeremy at Sullen and Bobby at Tribal, big up. And also my bandmates from Power Flow. Big up to all of you fellas. Peace up.
Word up. Salute to Armin, one of us. Always welcome at the table. And make sure you check out that new album. And much love to my brother. Hey, look, passion. Gotta have it. This is what pushes us all here at this table, a passion for what we do. Relentless, make no excuses, always pushing forward and always driving. Never letting anything get in the way of what the vision is. You know, yeah, you're going to deal with obstacles, you're going to deal with haters, sometimes even self-doubt. But you will push past that because it is your passion. You love this. And, you know, it's important to keep that always close. We tell it all the time. You know what I mean? It's the work that you put in, but also it's how much passion you have for it, because that's going to give you the want to put those hours in. Swallow that.
BREALTV.